Let's try it with unmuting the microphone. Welcome back, Portal Masters. SCL Matt here with another chat with Matt session. It's Saturday. It's snowing outside. I don't really want to go anywhere, so I'm staying inside and doing this thing. But yeah, we will have some fun today, and a little bit of a catch-up session, I guess. It's been a while since I've done a live stream. It's been a while since I've put out a lot of video content and such. There's a lot going on with the holidays and vacations and all that sort of stuff. So we are catching up with stuff. But yeah, stickers. Blade sticker. Soon-ish. This year. Let's go with this year. My current plan for the stickers goes something like this. One, the swapper stickers are currently up for pre-order on the site right now. So you can go check those out. There you can buy just the swappers, or you can, if you haven't bought any of the stickers up to this point, I made a bundle of all 3 games that we have available right now. And that's, I mean, the best price you'll get on those if you want to get all 3 of them. So you can go check those out. But the swappers are out right now. I'm thinking I have to go back and see exactly how many stickers were made, and how I want to bundle them, because there's a part of me that's thinking like, so we'll get the swappers now, then I might actually jump to the trap masters and then come back and make a bundle of the swap force and trap team core figures. Maybe I might just keep going in the order and say, okay, swap force core are next, then trap masters, then trap team core. That still might make more sense. We'll see. I have to figure out what I'm going. But my thought is that we'll probably try to put out a new group of them like every 2 months. So swappers in February, take March off, then April would be the next group. So let's just say that's swap force cores. May, June would be the trap masters. July, August would be the cores. September, October. So October would be like superchargers probably. And then November, December would be Imaginators, I think. So something along those lines. So I will say this year for Blades, I mean for everybody really, but I don't have an exact date right now. So yes and no. We produce the stickers. All the designs are done by Mr. Rolling Circle. I have a link to him on all the sticker pages on the site if you are buying any of those. But it's a guy who he's like a video game designer. He's making his own video game right now, and he likes Skylanders as well. And so at one point he just started making these little animated GIFs of Skylanders characters. And when I started seeing them, my first thought was like, those would make great stickers. And so once he had put out the whole run of them, like I contacted him and said, hey, I have this idea. And so we've kind of been partnering up. And so the designs are from Mr. Rolling Circle. I have turned them into stickers and now sell them on the site. So that's what's going on with those. Logan recently got wildfire. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Tall person, I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Trying to stay warm out of the snow. It is still snowing out there. Um, my wife had to go to work this morning and she cleared like 3 inches off the driveway this morning, and there's probably another 3 inches out there right now. So it's rough. But this is what you get when you live up north. So it is what it is. Lunk, have I ever considered selling custom Skylanders? So I have done some selling of customs in the past. Um, I mean, not only just random painted figures that we get in lots that I buy from time to time, but actual customs from like Earth and Avenger and Rainstorm Riddles. Now Rainstorm became so prolific with the customs that I actually helped her set up her own site to sell them. So she didn't have to keep shipping stuff to me and then I ship stuff out. So it gets shipped multiple times. And she wasn't losing money by like when I would sell them, I would take a cut of the sales price and stuff. So now they're her customs. She gets to keep the money. So if you want to check her out, she actually just put a new custom up this week. She's been out of it for a couple of months. But posted a new custom this week and put it up for sale in the shop. So yeah, if you search up Brainstorm Riddles, you can find her and all her custom work. But like I don't make customs myself. And so yes, if someone wants to partner with me and sell their customs through my site, like I said, that is something I have done. We usually end up auctioning them off instead of listing them at a flat rate or anything like that. So that's something that would happen over on Whatnot. So if you're not familiar with Whatnot, it's a live streaming auction platform. That's where I sell new in-box Skylanders, damaged figures, customs, other rare items that we just don't get a lot of that it doesn't make sense for me to sell in the shop if it's a one-off thing, kind of like a custom. Like I'm not going to make a whole listing for an item I'll never have in the shop again. So that is something to keep an eye on, though. Lethal Hendrix, when's the next shop update? Asking for a friend. So once again, the shop updates are not on a set schedule or anything. Honestly, I'm not in charge of when they come out anymore, so I can't even tell you. This past week we had I think 2 shop updates. The week before, I think we had 3 shop updates in the same week. So I always tell people it's typically 1 to 3 updates per week. And if you want to find out when those happen, there are 3 places you can do that. You can follow SCL Jillian on Twitter. SCL Jillian is the one that is in charge of those shop updates. So follow SCL Jillian on Twitter. You can follow this YouTube channel, and in the community feed, we post there about shop updates as well. But if you want to be the first to know about what is coming to the shop, and you want to know exactly when the shop updates happen and know before Twitter and YouTube, you can become a member of this channel, like Tall Person and Martin and all these folks here. You become a member of this channel, you get access to the SCL Discord. And the SCL Discord members are alerted about shop updates first before Twitter and YouTube. It's usually just like 30 to 60 minutes ahead of time, something like somewhere in that range. There's not a guaranteed time. But that is when that happens, how that happens, and where you can find out about shop updates. So keep an eye on that. Will the Trap Team villains be getting stickers? So Splatoon, as I was saying before, like the designs come from Mr. Rolling Circle. At this point, he has not made any designs for the villains, so I will not be making stickers of them because I'm not a designer like that. That's not what I do. So that's something to talk to him about and see if that's something he's interested in doing. But we have a lot of other stickers to get through before that time comes. Monkey Man waiting in package of Skylanders. Nice. Next year, order some stickers. Fair enough. Martin, welcome. Shop is doing well. The shop is doing well for sure. Kelton, when's the next vid? I actually dropped a video this morning. If you haven't seen that, it's not a road trip video, but it is a video. It's what I tend to do at the beginning of the year and kind of recap the previous year and showcase the top 20 best-selling figures in the shop. So go check that out if you haven't already. Chiefs or Eagles? Eagles, absolutely. Fly, Eagles, fly. I can't stand the Chiefs. Can't stand the Chiefs. Mahomes, no thank you. Kelsey, no thank you. Andy Reid, I have some respect for, but no, I do not like the Chiefs. Will not be rooting for them in the slightest. Max got like or chill today. Nice. Ooh, completing Giants base set. Very, very nice. Got to complete those minor sets. Celebrate those wins for sure. Do you prefer Toys to Life version of Skylanders? Or do you like Virtual Shop to buy? Excuse me. I mean, personally, yeah, I love having the physical figures, and I would love to see more of them. It is highly unlikely that we will see more physical figures, I think, but I would love to see it. Regardless, even if we get a digital only game, Skylanders game, I would be very happy with that. Nelson, yeah, it sucked. It sucked. We knew it was probably going to happen. Like, we still had some flaws this year. It would have been nice, but hey, we got beat by the team who is in the Super Bowl. So they're pretty good, apparently. Which Skystones do you like more? Original? So, Chris, unfortunately, I never remember the differences between all the Skystones. Personally, I like them all. It's kind of like Skylanders in general, Skylanders games in general. Like, I love playing all of them. Like, the only reason I have a favorite and a least favorite is because you guys always want me to rank them. So, Skystones, I've loved it since the beginning. I'm always happy to see new stuff. Like Skystones Overdrive, I feel was a little iffy. They really tried to like incorporate the vehicle thing again, and like I don't know, that one isn't quite as good, I think. But the other ones I don't remember the exact differences between them, so I can't give you a educated answer on that right now. What's my opinion on NFC cards? I hate them. Absolutely hate them. I understand where you're coming from, where figures are expensive nowadays, and it is what it is. But unfortunately, I come from the standpoint of NFC cards are piracy. It's like buying a bootleg copy of a DVD or a pirated CD. Like, I know a lot of that media doesn't exist anymore, but like, if someone would copy Skylanders Trap Team and sell that disc, that would be illegal. That's not something you can do. So it's the same thing with the figures. The information on those chips belongs to Activision, belongs to Microsoft now. And so if you are copying that data and selling it for a profit, like that is illegal. It's plain and simple. Um, and so I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I will never sell them. I will never promote that. I will always tell people, like, I can't control what you do, but I would not do it. I do not recommend it. So, but I know people are still going to buy them anyway, so there's nothing I can do. My favorite Skylanders game is still Spyro's Adventure. I love where they started. Getting really close to a full in-game set. Got the last ones I need from Imagination Supercharger this morning. Nice. Congratulations, mod. Philip, do I have every Skylander? Just about. I'm technically missing 7 pieces from what I will consider a complete collection. So that includes Happy Birthday Ben Starcast, and then 6 unreleased figures. So I know some people wouldn't necessarily count those in their collection. But I am including them. So Heartbreaker Buckshot, and then the 5 unreleased Creation Crystals. So those are my long-term goals. I know I'm not going to get them anytime soon. So basically, yes, I do have every Skylanders figure, as far as most people are concerned. But I have a few more I want to pick up on my list. Angela, when's the last day to pre-order Swapper stickers? So I think that day, I think we're just going to have them up for like a week, honestly. Unless folks feel that's too short of a time. But I know anytime I do pre-orders like this, SCL Jillian absolutely hates it because they clog up her pipeline. And she's not able, like, she has to just ignore all these pre-order orders when she's trying to take care of the other orders that come in. So I try to keep that to a minimum. So like, I guess I'm thinking right now the last day to pre-order would be the 15th. But I guess I'd be interested in any opinions you have on that. Is a week too short of a time? Should make it 2 weeks? Like, I don't think I'd want to go longer than 2 weeks, but I'm thinking the 15th would be the last day, and then I can get those pre-orders in, and we can get them sent out to you within the next couple of weeks. Ninja got your last figure 2 weeks ago. Now I have congratulations. A lot of people completing collections today. I like it. Or recently, I guess. Charlie, it's your birthday last month. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. Went to a bunch of retro game stores, found some Skylanders. Nice. What'd you find? Or what stores did you go to? Any big chains we haven't heard of, or anything like that? Or what are we going with? When's the next giveaway? I don't have any giveaways planned right now. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Last year, I know I did a lot of giveaways compared to what I normally do. So I don't want to give people the wrong idea, but yeah, that's not something I do too terribly often, honestly. Conquer, I'm right there with you. Spyro's Adventure has so much charm; it's absurd. Yes, I absolutely love the original. Love the original. Charlie found Golden Queen Kingpin. They didn't know it was broken. Like broken, like doesn't work in game, or just like damaged physically. Got some sealed figures. Nice. Oh, sealed traps even. Earth Hourglass, Tech Angel, Fire Screamer, sealed tri-tip. Wow. That sounds like a good haul, especially from game stores. To find that much sealed stuff, that's great. Mod, where do the unofficial Life Hammer instead of Weed Whacker? So those are actually official names. So those those are the internal names that Activision gave them. And so they would we got most of those um design names from like when they were shipped to stores sometimes. They would like on the Toys R Us sheet when they would get in a box of the traps, it would sometimes have it wasn't printed on the box necessarily, but like on the information sheet that Toys R Us would get, it would have that internal name. Um, and so over the course of time, we accumulated these names, and that's what we use. Um, I find calling them by their design, especially when they share designs like that, like there's a life hammer and an earth hammer. That makes more sense when talking to the average person, the average collector, as opposed to the weed whacker. Okay, the weed whacker, I can assume, is a life, um, a life trap, probably. But I mean, that to me could be the life sword, could be the weed whacker as well. The life hammer works as well, but like there's just a lot of options yet, and it's not as clear as to what they are. Um, so yeah, those names are actually official. They weren't like publicly used by Activision, but they are the names that they gave them. Now, on the other hand, the creation crystals, if you're not familiar with this, the creation crystals are the names we use were voted on by my community. So back in 2016, when those were coming out, and I we were not getting official names for the designs from Activision. I'm like, we're gonna need a way to differentiate these. We can't just, call them Dark Creation Crystal 1, Dark Creation Crystal 2. Like, that's gonna be super confusing. So we actually went to the community and asked for suggestions, and we took the top 3 suggestions we got for each different design, and then we voted on them, and those are the names I've been using ever since. So that is those are names that we came up with. But the traps are actually official names. So Ninja, do you or Jillian have any Lego sets? So yes, I do have a few. Um, I I can actually see them off camera here. That they're not behind me because that's all my Skylanders stuff. But I actually have the big Hogwarts castle up there. There's a Hedwig. I have a lot of Harry Potter Lego stuff. Um, Jillian does have a few, but her husband actually has a lot more. Um, so yeah, they have an entire Lego room, and it's expanded beyond the Lego room to various other rooms of their house. Um, but yeah, they are huge into Lego, much bigger than I am. So Max started selling your doubles on Whatnot recently. Really enjoying it. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Whatnot's a fun little platform, and I will be back selling there this Wednesday. So if you haven't already, let's see, what can we put up here? Can toss that up. Sure, we can toss that up. So if you haven't already, if you're new to Whatnot, you can use the link in the description below to sign up and claim $15 in Whatnot credit. They can use anywhere on Whatnot, on my shows, on anybody else's shows, whatever. But yeah, go ahead, sign up, and join us there on this Wednesday. Thanks for putting up community posts. I know when you update the shop, allowed you to get Crypt King. Doomtuber, awesome. I'm glad you got your hands on Crypt King. I know we got a lot of Trap Masters in this week. I mean, they sold out pretty quickly once again, but we did get a bunch of them in this week. Um, sort of guess that because of stuff like Captain's Hat. Yeah, like some of those names make sense to me. Like I absolutely would have called the Life Hammer the Life Hammer. Like, what else are you going to call that? But yeah, the Captain's Hat was interesting. The Screamer, um, and stuff like that. I mean, some of them like the owl and the spider and stuff like that are super recognizable designs, and you're not going to call it anything else. But yeah, I no one has ever called it the Weed Whacker. I agree with you there. I know those are the names in game. They try to get creative with them, and you'll see it sometimes in like eBay listings. Um, but other than that, yeah, I couldn't even tell you what they're all called. Like that would be quite the challenge, I think, to actually try to I mean go either way with it. If you give me the weed whacker and ask me, okay, which trap is that? Or say, okay, what's the other name for the life hammer? Um that I think that would be an interesting challenge for sure. But yeah, you see, you got this challenge going on already. What's Air Jughead called? Drafted decanter. That very well could be true. But I wouldn't know. It sounds right, but I really don't know. Ooh, Charlie, Game City. Just for fun, the game stores went to, and the Kingpin is damaged on pro. Okay. Well, I'm glad it works in game yet, but Game City. I'll have to look that one up. That's not one I've heard of before. So glad to know they have Skylanders though. How many creation crystal types are there? Um, that's a good question. So there's 10 elements, but different designs. I think there's more than 10 though. I'll have to I'd have to look that up. Here. I can look that up now. What am I talking about? Figures, type, creation crystals, go. Nice, I have these handy filters. All right, so we have the angel, the rune, acorn, reactor, claw, uh, armor, pyramid, lantern, fanged. Um, Man, maybe there's only 10. Rocket, I don't think we've hit yet. Yeah, maybe it is actually 10. There's 10 designs. Yeah, I was wrong. There are only 10 designs from what I can see. So there you go. 10 and 10. They got those numbers right. Uh any advice on fixing bending on figures? So it depends how bad it is and what the figure is and what it's made out of. Um in general, sometimes just bending it back the other way and holding it for a little while is enough to do it. But in general, if you apply a little bit of low heat from like a hair dryer or something like that, and so apply a little heat, like you want to like overbend it the opposite direction because it's still going to want to come back and bend. But that low heat can like the piece actually wants to stay where it originally was. And so it's going to try to get back to that position, right? And so sometimes just applying the heat is enough depending on the bend and the material. But sometimes you do have to bend it back the other direction. But that's going to be the best thing is, I mean, you're going to have to bend it a little bit. You can heat it up a little bit to make it a little bit more malleable. But it's, like I said, it really depends on the figure. It really depends on the figure. Mod, you're on top of this. Yeah. 10 different molds for the creation crystals. You got it. Isaac, I just talked about this earlier. I am totally against this. It is illegal. I do not condone it. Um, I compare it to like um, pirating a CD or a bootleg DVD or something like that. Like if someone said, "Hey, I copied the Skylanders Trap Team game disc, and now I'm going to sell you this copy," would you buy that? No, that's illegal. That's not something you can do. So it's the same idea. They are copying the copyrighted, trademarked information on the character chip and selling it for a profit. That I mean, it's a different form of disk, a different form of information um, transfer, but it's the same idea. They're making a copy of information that someone else owns and selling it for a profit. It's no, can't do it. Untoasted Toasts became a new member. Thank you very much. Welcome to the community. Hopefully we'll see you over in the Discord. Let me know if you have any trouble getting in there. But most people have been able to figure it out. Once you sign up, there's a link with instructions on how to connect your Discord to your YouTube, and it'll walk you in there. All right. What do you do with repaired figures? Like if I get a figure in that I know has been repaired, I mean, it depends what it is. It like one, we don't sell it in the shop. We don't sell repaired figures in the shop. So it will like if it's a cheap figure, like if it's just like a starter pack figure or something that someone like glued back together, like it'll go in damaged mystery box. If it's a more expensive figure, like Pinata or something, then that's something that we would put up for auction over on Whatnot. So that's basically to me like a repaired figure is still in the damaged category. Once figure's been damaged, it's damaged. Even if you fix it, it's still been damaged, and so it will go in the damaged category, and we treat it as a damaged figure regardless of its current status. So how hard is it to find sealed traps in retro game stores? I would say very hard. I've honestly only seen it. I can think of the Exchange in Ohio. I've seen one, maybe two stores there that have had sealed traps. I mean, maybe one or two other times in other stores, and they've just been overpriced. But yeah, I mean, it's super rare for me to see. Like, it's tough enough to find sealed figures, much less sealed traps. So, yeah, if you're finding sealed traps in stores, that's good. That's awesome. I mean, I don't know if it's a regular thing for that store or not, but maybe they just bought one big collection and they're slowly selling it off. Whatever the case may be, it's awesome to see them. Have you seen listings for Real Heartbreaker Buckshot or Happy Birthday Ben? So yes, there was a Heartbreaker Buckshot, a legitimate Heartbreaker Buckshot, listed on eBay a few years ago, but Activision got involved with that one and made them take it down. So it never actually got sold. The Happy Birthday Ben, I've seen a couple of listings over the years. There actually is one listed on eBay right now. They're asking an absolutely absurd. They used to have it listed for $50,000. Now they've lowered it to $29,000. So not what I'm willing to pay for yet. I have a number in mind. I'm not going to share it. But 29,000, no, still too much. It's not worth that much. No. So, yeah, Happy Birthday Ben does show up from time to time. They are legit. They are out there. I'll get my hands on one day. The Heartbreaker Buckshot is going to be much tougher for sure. But they do exist. But it's going to be tough for sure. Seth, welcome. Another member there. Glad you could join us. Thank you for making the Skylanders stickers. You're welcome. You're welcome. But yeah, for those of you who are just joining us, the Swapper stickers are currently up for pre-order on the site now. And like I said, they'll be up for at least a week. I'm thinking I might end the pre-orders on the 15th. We'll see how that goes. But if you have any input on that, if you think a week is too short, let me know. But like that is the current plan right now. And Joe, like that's a different ball game too. Like if you're just making copies of your own figures and keeping them as backups, like once again, I can't stop you. And two, like I have less of a problem with that because you're not selling it. So that is something to consider. Like it's a different situation. Like as soon as you start selling them and making profit off of them, that's when it becomes illegal. Like it's not necessarily just making the copy, it's selling copies. Max, when will the listings for Wednesday Whatnot show? I should have them up today. So sometime this afternoon or evening after I'm done streaming here. That's kind of my other major task for the day is to get those items up. I have them selected already. They're in the basement. I have the items picked out. I just need to make the listings. So that'll take me about an hour or so to get those up there tonight. Joe, you have about 50 sealed traps. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Is that for your collection or are you selling those? Yeah, Max, that is a big problem. And that's why they're harder to find too, is because everything else, even like, the creation crystals you could use in box, the characters you can use in box, the vehicles you can use in box. But that the traps, like you had to take them out of the box to use them. And so a lot more of them got opened. Mod, your knowledge of these trap names is very impressive, I have to say. All right. Skylanders Battlegrounds, LGTV, everything included, $30. Honestly, yeah, that's probably a pretty good price. Like if it has everything included, because like it has 3 sealed SSA figures in there. I think you could argue that those 3 figures would be worth $30, regardless of what they are. So yeah, I think that would be a pretty good deal there. And there you go. Yeah, So if anybody hasn't checked out the SCL marketplace yet, um, you should definitely do that. Especially if items you're looking for are currently out of stock in the SCL shop on SCL Collectibles, go check out sclmarketplace.com. So this is another site that I run, that I back, that I have handpicked the sellers that are selling on that site. So I trust them, and I hope you will trust them just as much as you trust me. Um, but we currently have 3 other sellers on there right now who have some fantastic stuff for sale. And they're constantly adding more as Joe just did there. Um, but here, let me actually here. Let's do this. Let's take a little um detour here and um share this marketplace. And so yeah, here is the SEO marketplace, right? Um and it kind of tells you here exactly what things are, what you can expect, how it's different from um my site. But if you go into the marketplace, you'll always see the newest listings first here. So it looks like what's Skylanders adding stuff new stuff now too. Um but yeah, you can sort by seller. So you got what Skylanders, SJM, and Fair Trade Games. So Fair Trade Games is Joe that we were just talking to. Um so if you just want to buy from a certain seller, you can do that. Otherwise, you got kind of the same filters that you do on my site, so you can sort however you want or view things however you want. Um, but just to give you an idea, like there are Sensei in stock here. So we got Taekwon Crow in stock, Ember, Candy Code Chopscotch, Aurora, Ambush, Cortex, and of course Kingpin and Golden Queen. Those are all in stock right now. Trap Masters. Ooh, looks like what the Skylanders might actively be adding stuff to the site right now. Trap Masters. What we got for Trap Masters? We got Enigma, Wildfire, Nightmare, Blastermind, Jawbreaker. So when you see multiple listings like this, it's because they're from different sellers. So you can see right under the character name, there's going to be a listing, the name of the seller. So this one's from SJM, this one's from Fair Trade. So once again, if you just want to shop from one seller, if you buy from multiple sellers, you will have to pay multiple shipping costs, just because they each handle their own shipping, and so they need to be paid for that. But still, you can buy from multiple, or you can buy from one. You can do whatever you want. But we got Trap Masters in stock here. Things that, like I said, aren't necessarily in stock on my site right now. Swappers. Do we have swappers in stock? Yes, we do. Ooh, even some variants. Quick Draw Rattleshake, Legendary Night Shift, Nitro Magnet Charge. So yeah, got some good stuff there as well. So once again, you can check those out and see. They do have some games and portals up here as well. So if you're looking for games, got some portals here. Yeah, go ahead and check that out. Let me know if you have any questions, and just know that that is an option for you to check out nowadays. So, do you think Heartbreaker Buckshot production ever made it to the packaging stage? Yeah. So I personally have not seen a Heartbreaker Buckshot box. I've only seen loose figures. So yeah, that's my guess is they didn't make it to the packaging stage, or if they did, all the packaging just got scrapped at some point. So I wouldn't expect to see a box ever, but yeah. How's hunting been this past month? So Seth, unfortunately, yeah, I mean, I took off basically, well, actually a long time. I haven't done any like in-person hunting in a long, long time. It's been a few months, honestly. I'm planning to get back into it. I just need to figure out a plan, and like the weather right now is not helping, right? Like we're getting 6 inches of snow today. I don't want to drive out there, and it's just a mess. It's not a smart move on my part. So um, I may have to plan a trip to the south or something like that to get away from some of this weather, where I can do some decent hunting. Um, but I don't know what's going to happen with that right now. Who's your favorite swap for swapper, not counting chases or anything? Rattleshake. Rattleshake's my favorite swapper. Have you ever sold sealed tri-tip before? Charlie, I have sold sealed tri-tips, multiple. They go for various prices. Like I always auction them off on whatnot. I don't recall offhand what they sold for. Um, like my minimum bid always starts at um the price of the loose figure. So that's where I start them. They tend to go for more than that, but it really just depends on the night and who's there and how much people want it, and who still needs it for their collection, who doesn't. Like sometimes those things go for minimum bid. Sometimes they go for an extra $2. Sometimes they go for double or triple the loose value. So it's really hard to judge. It's really hard to set a price on those, and that's why I always auction them instead of just trying to set a price. Um, just bought a whole lot of swap force from y'all. You're welcome, Dylan. Glad you. I hope you enjoy your new figures. Had no idea Heartbreaker Puck Shot is unreleased. Yeah, it was planned to be released, but last minute they shut it down, and we will probably never know why exactly. Like we've heard theories. I've never heard it directly from like a producer of the game or a higher up that said, "Hey, yeah, this is why we can this figure." Like I've only heard a lot of theories. Plant King, you, I mean, sure, you joined us after I started, but no one needs to be here for sure. What happened to Series 2 Chop Chop? He went from 30 to being sold. Someone bought them all. Yeah, Skyforge. Someone mass bought Series 2 Chop Chop. So I think I think we got some more in stock now. But yeah, someone came in and bought all of them. Love to sell your sealed traps, only selling in SEL Marketplace currently though, and no list. Yeah, I know we don't have the sealed listings up there yet. Once again, it's just a. It may come eventually, may not. We'll see. We'll see. Um, is Barnes and Noble a good place to find figures or just the books and comic stuff? Does Barnes and Noble sell used stuff? I haven't been in a Barnes and Noble in a while. Um, yeah, I've personally never seen Skylanders there. If you're finding books and comics, like I didn't even know they had that stuff there, unless they still have some new old stock or something like that. But like, yeah, I've never even considered going to Barnes and Noble for Skylanders. So if they are selling them, let me know. That would be very interesting. I know people have found some stuff occasionally at like half price books, so like it's not out of the question, I guess. But I've never personally seen any at Barnes and Noble. Seth, yeah, love the existence of the marketplace. Nice to have a backup when the store is missing stuff. That's exactly the plan. Like my goal with the marketplace, I mean, my goal overall has always been to help you complete your collection. And sometimes that means I don't have all the figures. I can't get as much inventory as you need. But I know there are other people out there, other trustworthy people out there who are selling Skylanders and they have the inventory. And so that's why I opened the marketplace. And I'm letting those people sell under my brand name and say, hey, if you trust me, if you trust SCL Matt, you can trust these folks over here in the marketplace. Um, and so that is the idea behind it. Yeah. That is why I started it. I just want to help you complete your collection, even if it means you're not buying directly from me. Gentleman Slendy bought about $700 worth of figures from Morgan's Comics in Asheville, North Carolina. Got a lot of rare figures like Double Dead Trigger, Heavy Echo, Spotlight, Enigma, and Doomstone. That's fantastic. Morgan's Comics in Asheville. I honestly, I drive close to Asheville on a fairly regular basis. At least I have in the past. Okay, what was that? Game City, I was gonna look up. And then Morgan's Comics. Cool. Yeah, I know you said it's before the hurricane, so yeah, that could be rough now, but good to know. Good to know. If they're back up and running, I would love to check them out. Thought of doing some kind of Skylanders raffle. Plant King, what exactly do you mean by that? What would that look like? I'm curious. I'm curious. What do you do if you get Superchargers style portal for Skylanders Imaginators? The one where the trap slot is covered. Yeah, there are not any listings for it on SEL because I have never gotten one. That was, to my knowledge, that was an international thing. So we don't really get many of them here in the US. In the US, the Imaginators portals were looked more like the Swap Force portals. They had a different cable color, but that was the only difference, really. So the supercharger style with the trap slot covered, that I believe was an international thing, and I to this day yet have never received one, in any lots that I've bought or anything. So yeah, there's no listing. If I ever got one, what would I do? I would sell it at auction because it'd be a rare item that we don't get in very often that I might not ever see again. So, yeah, see how it goes. If you come to the South, you find a place to hunt in North Carolina. Don't know a lot of places that sell figures here. So North Carolina, like I said, I have been to a couple of times. So like you can check out, why can't I think of the name of it now? McKay's does carry Skylanders. So I know there's a couple locations in North Carolina. There's also a couple locations in Tennessee. And then the other place I go regularly in North Carolina is the Grid, which is the Goodwill video game store in Charlotte. So you can check those out. I don't know exactly where you are in North Carolina, but McKay's and the Grid are for sure. And apparently Morgan's Comics in Nashville have carried some as well. So there you go. Couple months ago, I picked up Skylander Swap Force Xbox One edition for $50 at the local disc replay. Was a good deal. Swap Force Xbox One, $50. Yeah, I think that's right around market price. I think. I don't know what I currently have it listed at, but that seems reasonable. Those swap force for Xbox One and PS4 are tough to come by. Real tough to come by. Xbox One usually goes a little bit cheaper than PS4 nowadays, but it's still a good find for sure. Do I like tri-tip? It's your favorite? Hey, everybody's gonna have their own favorites. Um, all right. As I always say, everybody is somebody's favorite. Um, tri-tip is not one of my personal favorites because he's more of a melee character, and that's just my personal opinion about playstyle. I tend to like range characters a bit more. Um, but yeah, I he- I don't dislike him. He's just not my style. Do you ever plan on getting Happy Birthday Ben? Yes, I do. Um, I have a price in mind of what I'm willing to pay for it, but it's not a price I'm going to reveal at this point. If I ever buy one, I'll probably talk about price, but um, that's not something I'm gonna talk about right now. But yes, I do plan on getting it at some point. I mean, need to find the right situation, someone who's willing to sell it at a price I'm willing to pay. Catacon Trap Team for Xbox One, $20. Absolutely a good deal. Yeah, for sure. Do you still add time if someone outbids in auction and whatnot? Martin, yes. Yes. I still run my whatnot auctions the same way. I don't run sudden death. So yeah, if someone places a bid within the last 10 seconds, the clock resets to 10 seconds. So there, Barnes and Noble will not sell figures, just books. Fair enough. Joe, did your first whatnot show on Sunday? Nice. I didn't know you were selling on whatnot. I'll have to look into that. Just sold video games so far. Maybe you'll start doing Wednesday shows after yours. I mean, that's up to you. That's up to you. You gave me the push I need to go back to collecting 3 months ago, and I have over 200 unique figures. Nice. All the way from France. Welcome back to the community. Welcome back to the Skylands. If you're impressed by my trap knowledge, did you know that the specific shape of the creation crystal found in the Magic Pyramid and Life Claw is called this mod? No. No. I did not know that. I don't think I needed to know that, but um yeah. Yeah. I had no clue. How often do you find Granite Crusher, Last Giant Need? Charlie, he comes in fairly often. But he's one of those figures that well, a couple of issues with it. Like one, um, the ones we get don't always light up, and so it's we never really know if we're gonna be able to put it in the shop until we test it. Um, so that's one issue. But then when we do get one in, it's typically one of those figures that we only get like one at a time. Um, and so that is when like it's a hard to find figure. I wouldn't call it a rare figure, but it doesn't come in super often. Um, because it's supposed to light up, we have to make sure it lights up before we can put it in the shop. And so once we make it over those hurdles, then um, we have to see, you know, we're like I said, we're usually only left with one at a time, and so it probably sells within the first hour. So yes, we get them for sure. Um, but yeah, I don't um I can't say like we get him in every week or anything like that necessarily. So keep an eye out. You know where the shop updates are. Uh oh, should have said places near Raleigh Garner. I hey, I know some people don't have the ability to travel long distances, but there's only so much I can do when you're like, yeah, give me a whole state. Like, I have people requesting from basically all 50 states, like, where can I find Skylanders in my state? And I'm like, I do my best, and like, I'll give them, like I just did. I gave you 3 places that I know in North Carolina, and unfortunately, they're not close to where you are. I mean, like, I hate to say it, but like, it would be easier for you to go out and check your local game stores than it would be for me to drive thousands of miles down to North Carolina, drive around your city, come back, make a video and report like, "Hey, this is where I found stuff." Like, I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of logical sense, honestly, for me to do that. But I mean, I do it because I love doing it, and I know it's going to help some people in the long run. Um, but like, if you're looking for a specific city because you can't drive out of that city or something for whatever reason, um, like I would just say like search retro game stores or used game stores in your city and see what pops up and go check them out. I mean, if you don't want to drive there, give them a call. Just ask if they have Skylanders and save yourself a trip. But yeah, I don't have any specific information about that right now. Have we sold a sealed red drill sergeant before? And if you did, so yeah, I mean, yes, we definitely have sold one, multiple probably. I don't recall the exact sale price of them. I mean, we've literally sold thousands of figures, um, and I don't recall the exact sale price of each individual figure we sell. Um, that's something that somewhere down the line I would love to keep better track of and maybe develop some kind of price guide or historical sales data that we can provide you. But right now, I mean, that would be a huge undertaking to build something like that. And I just don't have the money and or bandwidth to do that. So, um, Tony Tom got some stuff for sale. If you're looking to sell Skylanders, if you're looking to just sell off a big lot or a collection or something, and you want to sell to me, um, or if you want to just see what I'll offer, you, I ask that you send an email to Matt at SkylandersCharacterList.com. Um, please include pictures of everything you have for sale, along with your initial asking price, and we can go from there. Um, I don't need individual pictures of every single figure. Just set them out on a table, take a few nice group shots, um, and that should be enough to go off of for me. I just need to be able to see all the figures and games and portals and whatever else you have. Um, if you have a lot of pictures that don't fit nicely in one email, then like drop them in like a Google Drive folder or Dropbox or whatever else other file sharing program you have, and just send me a share link in the email, and I can take a look at pictures that way. Um, but that is if you're looking to sell to me, that's how you go about it. Send me email, Matt at SkylandersCharacterList.com, and we'll go from there. Um, I lost my place. um, was a place called Hidden Block Games in Raleigh. That's all I could find. Besides that, every other place told me they didn't accept Skylanders anymore because the figures had bad names. Man. And it was too much of a hassle to reset them all. Okay, so yeah. I have heard of that issue before. Um, yeah, kids are gonna be kids, and when you give them the option to give your figures unique nicknames, yeah, kids will abuse that. And so yeah, that is unfortunate that that's why they had to do it. And I mean, it's one more reason why I test and reset everything that we get in. Um, yeah, we don't run into any of those problems. So that's unfortunate that yeah, your local stores aren't really selling, but that's one more reason why I run my shop online is for folks who don't have a place they can go locally to um, buy Skylanders. We're talking about the raffle. Basically, choose any figure, let people buy a ticket for $1 and choose a winner. So, raffles get tricky because, um, depending on where you live, depending on country, sometimes depending which state, even um, raffles can be considered gambling, and that would be illegal for me to run. Um, so it gets into at best a gray area, and in some locations becomes illegal. Um, so yeah, that's probably not something I would ever do just because I don't want to risk something happening. Um, but I mean that's my workaround for some of that has been like I do the mystery boxes, right? And say you can buy the mystery box or the mystery box of doom in particular, I should say. Um, where we've included, you know, okay, you're getting this set amount of figures, you're getting a discount, you're getting a sticker, but then you also one person is getting like a blackout, and for a while we included some rainstorm riddles customs in those boxes, and stuff like that. So that's about as close as I would get to any sort of raffle type of thing. But yeah, it's not worth the potential downside of things is not worth the risk, I guess, is where I'm coming from. Chatterbug, welcome in. Haven't seen you in a while. My favorite swap combination. So if you've seen me play Swap Force before, you might know that like I don't actually like swapping them. I think that the originals are the best. So like my answer is Rattleshake. I really like Rattleshake. Uh, that is just my preference. Like I don't necessarily like swapping them. I think the abilities they gave the characters as is work well together. And so swapping them doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense to me. Um, I love the mechanic. I love that it's possible, but I just don't do a lot of swapping personally when I play. That's why when I do play and if I'm live streaming, I always ask you guys for suggestions because I don't do it. um, but yeah, yeah, I anything with rattle probably. So like rattle shift, I know has been decent. Rattle rouser isn't bad, but yeah, I really like rattle shake. duh, duh, duh. Um, Moscow, I no, the shop is not US only. So the SCL marketplace that we were talking about earlier is US only because that's a new project. But SCL Collectibles, my shop that I ship to, we actually just opened up to a whole boatload of other countries. Um, but yeah, we definitely still ship to the UK. So no question about that. Where's my FAQ? So yeah, I think we ship to something like 51 countries now. Um, so we currently ship to Canada, the Dominican Republic, Mexico, the US, South Africa, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, Malaysia, Pakistan, the Philippines, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Turkey, the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, um, Austria, Belgium, Croatia, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Malta, Montenegro, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Serbia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. So yeah, we ship to a lot of places. So no, we are not US only. I'm not sure like if you're just getting that confused with the marketplace, which is US only, or if you saw that like if you saw that printed somewhere, let me know and I would like to change that. But sclcollectibles.com, my main site, ships all over the place. Ooh, just opened the package from the shop. Oh, Thumping Wump Islands. Enjoy. Enjoy. That's a fun level. Martin, we do occasionally get the Skylanders Mega Blocks. I auction those off from time to time. I don't think I have any right now, but yeah, we get them from time to time. Leslie, hello. Another YouTube member. Glad to see it. How often do we find Jade Flashwing? So Jade Flashwing might be worse than Granite Crusher because, like Granite Crusher, like I was saying, we need to make sure it lights up. Jade Flashwing we get in like I feel fairly often, but once again, it gets damaged so easily. The wings on that one, and just like any other Flashwing figure. Um, so we get them a lot of times with no wings, one wing, a cracked wing, or like even if it was okay when they shipped it, like they just didn't protect it well when they shipped it and it got damaged in shipping. And so like we never really know until we actually get our hands on it whether or not um they're going to be able to be sold in the shop. And so like we sell damaged ones occasionally at auction once again, but yeah, that's something to I mean, like I feel that we get them in fairly often, but it's probably once again one at a time. It'll sell out quickly. Just have to keep your eye out. Joe still adding more to the marketplace. I'm curious because like I think I saw what the Skylanders would add and stuff. Okay, they just added those two figures. They added the Wildfire and the Enigma. Joe just added Buzzwing, Legendary Free Ranger, Freeze Blade, Hot Streak, Reef Ripper, Splatter Splasher, Tomb Buggy, and an Undead Hand Trap. There you go. I think some of those we probably have in stock, like the Reef Ripper and Splatter Splasher. I think we might have in stock in the shop right now, but the rest of those I could see we're probably out of stock of right now. So yeah, check out sclmarketplace.com. Martin, I have reached out to U2s a few months ago. I haven't done it yet in 2025. I probably should reach out to them again. I don't know that I'm going to be able to be an official outlet for them. Um, that didn't sound super promising the first time I talked to him, but I am gonna reach out again and see if there's any kind of partnership collaboration we can do. Because yeah, that would be fun. But we should be seeing something about that. I mean, last I heard, late March, early April will likely be um, more information about the Skylanders YouTubes. Ham Hands, Inbox, Crypt King, Inbox Wallop, Inbox Gusto, Out of Box Tough Luck, Wildfire, Treadhead, and new inbox Trap Team Tablet Starter, all for all for $40. Yeah, that's a good haul. $40. I mean, on a good day, the inbox Crypt King could go for $40. But Crypt King and Wallop, even loose, are probably worth 40. So then, yeah, to get the rest of it on top, yeah, you're all good on that. Boxes are all damaged to some capacity except for the starter. Yeah, but still, even still, I mean, even if the boxes are damaged, that means the figures aren't damaged most of the time. So I think that's a win. Ninja, yes. That would be perfect. Like that's kind of what I want you twos to do, is to give us the characters we never got, whether it's a Heartbreaker Buckshot, like that would be fantastic. Or like I personally kind of want them to dive into the world of the NPCs. And if we could get, I mean, not even like I don't even really want like Buzz or Flynn or anything like that. Um, but go a little bit deeper and give us some of the other NPCs. Like I think that'd be fantastic. I don't think that's what they're going to do, at least not with the first run. Like the first run of U2s, I fully expect to be the most common, boring characters that, I mean, yeah, they're popular, I guess, but I mean, it's probably going to be Spyro and Gil Grunt and Trigger Happy and Jetvac, Tree Rex, like that's what I would expect that we get right off the bat. Um, I hope I'm wrong. I hope they go deeper than that. But regardless of what they do, like we need to show them like, hey, Skylanders has an audience. We'll buy a bunch of these for you. You should make some more. So that'll be interesting to see. Yeah, there we go, Joe. Raffles are illegal in New York. Yeah, so some states they're just not legal, and so it's rough. Oh, is it new? Didn't know there's a separate site. Yeah. So yeah, the SCL marketplace is new. Has been open since mid December, so almost 2 months now. But yeah, that is a separate site from my site. They're linked and they're meant to look similar to each other because I wanted people who are familiar with my site to feel at home shopping on the marketplace. So I did make them similar. I think looking back, that may have confused some people. So yeah, it is what it is. But there are two sites now, yes. Seth, I'm with you on this one too. The mechanic is great, but it feels wrong when you do it. Yeah, I get that. Broccoli. I haven't done much hunting in Minnesota. I have found one good place. I made a video about it. It's a video where I talk about going into the back room, which they claim never happened. Um, but it's I can't think of the name of the place anymore. It's in a video. It's in a video I made. But yeah, it's the video with the thumbnail says like I went in this back room here. Um, man, what is it? Yeah, is maybe it might be like level up or something like that. Is that a game store? Sounds like a game store. But yeah, the only shopping I've done in Minnesota is in that video. So I would recommend going to check out the video. That's all the information I have right now. I do plan on going more in depth in Minnesota at some point, but like I said, right now the weather isn't really cooperating to the point where I want to be out driving all day in Wisconsin, Minnesota, like not conducive to hunting for sure. How often do you find Series 2 Drobot? So Charlie, this is a bit of a conundrum that I'm in right now. We actually find Series 2 Drobot pretty often. My biggest issue right now is that we have a few international resellers that shop on my site. And while I can't be completely upset with other resellers because like that's what I'm doing as well. I'm buying from other folks and reselling. But a lot of times what they do is come in and buy out my entire stock of certain characters as soon as the update happens. And unfortunately, Series 2 Drobot is one of those figures. So I don't know if I'm going to have to start like putting limitations on how many of a figure you can buy or something like that. But like there have been cases recently where we've had 2, 3, 4 Series 2 Drobots in one update, and one of these resellers comes in and snatches all of them up right away within like the first 5 minutes. And it's not a good feeling that they're just buying all of them immediately, not leaving any for anybody else. Like it'd be one thing if like if I got 4 in, they came and bought 2. Okay, you at least left some for other folks. Or if we got 4 in, they waited 24, 48 hours, and then if there's still some left, they come and buy everything. Like that I would also be like okay with. But it does bother me a bit that like they're jumping on everything right away, buying my entire stock and not leaving anything for anybody else. And that hurts because it feels like it's not directly serving the purpose of my shop. And I get it. Series 2 Drobot is hard to find internationally as well, but he's hard to find here in the US too. And so it sucks that they just consistently keep it, like it feels like they're stealing them from collectors. And it's a weird spot to be in. So yeah, Series 2 Drobot, we do get in fairly often. I mean, I would say probably like every time we have giants in the update, I think we probably have at least one Series 2 Drobot. Like you can go back and check some of the recent if you go check the community feed right now and just scroll back through some of the old pictures, just check all the giants pictures and see like you'll see a bunch of Series 2 Drobots in there. Like I think they're definitely more common than non-damaged Jade Flashwing or non-damaged Granite Crusher. But they just get snatched up right away. Martin, you want Glumshanks? Yeah, that'd be a great NPC to get. Realistically, not getting blades, yeah, and that remains to be seen. Like if they for some of the franchises that U2's covers, they go really in depth and they do make multiple series of figures and um there have been some franchises that they've made, you know, just keep making more and more figures and plush and stuff for. And so there's the possibility that they could do that with Skylanders because Skylanders has a very deep roster, not only just of the standard figures, but all the NPCs and all the villains and all that stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Time will tell. Um, oof. It's my favorite figure, including box creation, crystals, traps, collection back there. That's a tough one. There's a lot of figures back there. Um, I mean, one of my favorites is always going to be like the pride and joy of my collection is going to be the E3 Spyro because I like very few people own that or even know like why it's special. Um, but yeah, the boxed E3 Spyro might be the top of my collection. And it's I mean it's way up there. You can't see it on camera. Um Otherwise, I mean, I always say like Quick Draw Rattleshake is the best in-game variant ever, and Rattleshake's one of my favorite characters, so I mean that all makes sense. I mean, my camo figures are great. I have a bunch of custom camo figures that I've gotten from various members of the community. A lot of those are fun. Those aren't actually on this shelf; they're over on that shelf. Um, but yeah, like the chase variants and stuff. Like many of them aren't really my favorites. I don't really care for them that much. But yeah, I it's hard to say exactly. I that E3 Spyro though is really hard to beat. If I had to just pick one figure, that might be it. Put any three Skylanders in Smash Bros. As a tag team, who would they be? I mean, I feel like the only three that would really make sense would be like Spyro, Gil, and uh, Trigger Happy. Like that's the trio, right? That's the original trio. That is Skylanders. That is what most Skylanders fans would think of when he asks for three Skylanders. Um, is there a better trio out there? Probably. Is there one that would make more sense to the masses? Not really. I mean, that'd be like digging into I man, I don't have a good example. Yeah. If you aren't currently hunting, how does the stock stay so consistent? So yeah, it's a lot of online stuff. Um, I any backlogged figures from old hunts. I mean, no, like stuff gets in from hunting gets into the shop pretty quick. Usually within a couple weeks, a month at tops. Um, the backlog stuff I have from old purchases is all super common stuff. So I mean, I've got Shroom Boom for days. and Stump Smash for days. If anyone wants to bulk buy um, Shroom Boom, let me know. I will get a bunch of them in the shop for you. Like there probably are a bunch of them in the shop right now, but we have hundreds and hundreds more. Like you could probably make uh, Shroom Boom the number one selling figure in the shop for 2025 if you bought everything I have right now. But that would also cost a lot at this point. Yeah. Yeah. So where stuff is coming from right now is I still shop a lot on eBay and I buy a lot of collections online. Um, most of these are private deals that you'll never see. Um, so yeah, that's where a lot of the stock in the shop is coming from nowadays. Honestly, the hunting that I do, like when I go out and do hunting, like unless I hit a really good shop, like I'm probably only getting a few dozen figures, if not a few. On a good trip, I might pick up a few hundred figures, like 200 figures or something like that. But right now, I mean, we probably sell 1,000 figures a week or something like that. And so there's no way that hunting alone would ever be able to keep up with the rate at which we're selling stuff. Um, and so that's why when I go on those hunting trips, I always talk about like I rent a minivan and I'm going out for a week because I'm driving across the country to pick up this big collection. And like that collection is what makes the trip worth it. It's not the hunting. The hunting is a byproduct. It's something I do for fun. It's something I do to help show you where you can look for Skylanders and what shops carry them, what shops don't. Um, and the hunting in and of itself is just more of a fun side hobby thing. Like I don't actually find that much just hunting in stores for where the shop's at now. So it's really the big collections and the big purchases and stuff that keep the shop running the way it has been. After completing Imaginators, Drobot Bash and Whamshell don't seem that rare anymore. Yeah, I think about that from time to time too. And how like, oh, Whamshell's price went up to $20 or Series 2 Drobots $20 or something like that. And then you look at Imaginators and like the cheapest figure is $20. And the most expensive figure, now Green Chompy Mange, is up in like the $600 range. It just keeps going up and up and up. It's rough. You could start selling figs that resellers are getting on Whatnot. I could, but that almost just feels like a money grab then, right? Because then instead of saying, hey, here's this figure I want to sell you for $20, but we're going to make you bid on it. And if you aren't flush with cash, too bad. I mean, and what's to say like the resellers aren't going to just join me over there on Whatnot and start buying from me there. So I don't know. Yeah. I put a limit of one. I might have to start doing that on some of these figures just to make it more fair and stuff. Like, we'll see. We'll see. Chop Chop, welcome back. I'm glad to be here too. Yeah, that happy birthday bet on eBay. Yes, the price is crazy. Like, if the price was reasonable, I would buy it. But the price is ridiculous. Like, I still think there's a chance that might end up being the happy birthday Ben that I buy eventually. I just need to like convince them that that price is still ridiculous. No one's going to pay that. And like it used to be 50 grand, now they're down to 29, so they've almost cut it in half. Like It's coming down. It's still not where it needs to be, but yeah, I because that one is so well known now, and like it it'll be interesting to see how long it lasts or how far they're willing to come down. Like or chill, like or pop fizz. I mean, they're tough to find, but um, I would say they are less common than everything else you've asked about so far. So less common than Series 2 Drobot, less common than Jade Flashwing, less common than Granite Crusher. They do pop up fairly regularly, especially when I'm buying large collections, because those collectors did take the time to get them all. Um, but yeah, they're tough to find. I mean, as is reflected in their price, right? So like Lycor Chill's like 25, Pop Fizz is like 40. So those are more expensive than the other figures you're asking about, and therefore typically means they're harder to find. What's the process to get sellers to be part of the marketplace? So right now there isn't a process. There's no like application process or anything like that. I have these are all people that I knew from previous dealings. Either I've bought from them before. Actually, yeah, all three of them I've bought from before. So I knew how they handle their figures. I knew that they're trustworthy. I've had personal conversations with all three of them before. Um, so like these are just people I knew that I reached out to and said, "Hey, here's this project I'm working on. Would you like to be a part of it?" And that's all it's going to be for a while, um, until like I build up a reputation. I work out all the bugs in the system. I like maybe someday the marketplace will be bigger and we'll be able to accept more people, um and there might be some kind of application process or something to let more people sell there. But right now I intentionally want to keep things small so it's manageable. But it's still it's still um providing the service that I want it to provide. That makes sense. Yeah. Seth, I bet you're happy to have that green shopping mage nowadays. Yeah. Hey, I bought it back in the day from Amazon. And I always tried to tell people like it says it's Amazon exclusive. I mean, I don't know why you doubt that it's not. Like everybody just expected it to be sold elsewhere. And they didn't want to buy the 5 pack. And so like, all right, you're lost, but you could have gotten I think the 5 pack, I went back and looked at it. I think the 5 pack sold for $70, maybe it was $60. Like it was something slightly cheaper than buying 5 figures individually. So 5 figures individually would have been 75. So yeah, it was either 60 or $70. Um, and like, yes, I already had the other 4 figures in the 5 pack, but I bought the 5 pack, sold off the other 4 figures, and basically got a free Chompy Mage. Anybody could have done that. Because I mean, I didn't even have my shop back then. I wasn't selling on Whatnot. I just sold on eBay like everybody else. So yeah, that's rough. Do I have all the E3 figures? No, Spyro's the only one I have. I know someone who has Trigger Happy. Um, but I don't know anybody that has Gil Grunt right now. That's kind of a tough one. Like there's one small grainy picture of it on the internet right now. Like That's the problem. Like we're not even fully sure that one still exists intact in its box because like no one can even get a picture of this thing anymore. Um, so that's rough. That's rough for sure. But that's why I know how valuable mine is too. Like having that original E3 packaging is not something you see much of. Um, do, 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 do. The big three or the OG three. So like the OG three, um, like I'm saying that like those are the more popular characters. Those are the ones people know. The big three, like yes, I think just about everybody in this chat probably knows um the the who the big three are, right? We've referenced them quite a bit if you hang out in my chats. But that is that is not as common of knowledge, especially because it comes from the last game, and a lot of people were out of Skylanders before the last game, and so to choose those like if we're talking to choose those three to put in like Smash Brothers or something like that, like people would be super confused. They would have no idea what that's from. So yeah, the OG3, I just better overall, I think. Do you often get big lots in your vids sent to you fully online nowadays? Often get big lots like in your vids sent to you fully online. So that's the thing. That's if a lot is basically all loose out of box stuff, I tend to have it shipped to me. The lots that I go to pick up are generally when they have either completely or at least a large majority of the lot is still new in box. And those are the ones that not only would it be difficult for them to ship, but I don't want them to ship because either they're not comfortable shipping or I've had too many bad experiences with people not knowing how to ship things properly. And so for valuable stuff like that, that the value is in the packaging and the value is in keeping it intact. Like that is the type of stuff that I go out of my way to pick up. That's where the road trips originally started. Was there was a large inbox collection that I wanted to go pick up in person. And so I said, "Yeah, hey, are you able to meet, in a week? I will come out, drive to you, pick it up, pay you in person. You won't have to worry about shipping anything and stuff like that." So that is um the way that I kind of handle those pickups now. And like I did make a couple of exceptions early on to pick up large out of box collections, but the more I thought about it, the more it just didn't make as much sense unless I was also unless I was picking up like three large out of box collections or um if I was picking up an out of box along with an inbox collection or something like that. And so that's part of the reason I've cut back on the road trips is road trips are very expensive. Like if I'm renting a minivan, depending on time of year, it's usually about $600 to rent a minivan for a week. Um, so like $600 there. Uh, I have to pay for the gas for the minivan, so that's honestly a few $100 there. If I'm gone for a week, that's 5 to 6 nights in hotels. We're talking usually between 100 $200 a night in a hotel. So call it $150 a night, 6 nights. That's $900. So I mean, we're looking at like $1,500 to $2,000 um, between the car, gas, food, lodging. That can easily be $1,500, if not close to $2,000 just to take that trip to go pick up inventory. I'm paying $2,000 just to go spend another, three, four, five, $10,000 on product, and then I have to bring it home and process it all and sell it all. Like, it's not a quick flip necessarily, especially if it is inbox stuff that I sell on Whatnot. Like, that could take me a few months to get that money back. And so it's it's rough. It's rough for sure. Um, but there's a reason why I've had to cut back on those trips, because they're not cheap. They're not cheap. And so I have to be more judicious in what I go out to pick up. I have to make sure that it's worth it and make sure I can make my money back, make sure I'm not losing money on the deal. Um, and so there's just a lot to consider. I mean, if it weren't a question of the money, I'd be out on the road every week picking stuff up or just going hunting. But it's expensive. Ham Hands, would you buy it for 1K? Are we talking about Happy Birthday Ben? Oh, yeah, there. The Happy Birthday Ben. Yeah, absolutely. 1K, I would absolutely pay 1K. I think 3K would be reasonable, but 25, no way. So yeah, so just to give you an idea, the last one that was sold on eBay, I know who bought it. It was listed as a buy it now for 6K. I would have happily paid that. But yeah, say there's no Skylanders figure in the world that's above 10K. Yeah, that's probably accurate. I mean, unless it's some rare one of a kind piece or something. Like, honestly, like if like the not Happy Birthday Ben, Heartbreaker Buckshot, were ever to actually be sold, I could see that going, 10K plus, which would probably be out of my price range, but I could see a handful of collectors that I know that might be willing to pay something like that. Like, is it worth it? I mean, that's up to the buyer if it's worth it. Value is just what someone is willing to pay for something. So, do I like Whamshell? He's not bad. He's better than I thought he would be, honestly, for how much people talk about that they don't like him in game. Like, I don't think he's that bad. Dylan, do you sell inbox Eon's Elite on Whatnot? Yes, I do. Actually fairly frequently. I don't think we have any this week. But yeah, we do sell inbox Eon's Elite for sure. Are there other hobbies you like besides Skylanders? I mean, yes. Right now, the way things are going, like, I don't have a lot of time for other hobbies. Like, the shop eats up a lot of my time, and going on hunting trips and just buying new stuff and dealing with business related things behind the scenes takes up a lot of my time. Now, this year, one of my goals is to, hire more people and offload some of those tasks to give me some of my time back. But yeah, like, because I have a shelf full of video games that I want to play. I mean, I do take some time to, like, I go on vacations down to Disney World. That's kind of a hobby for me. That's where I like to go, where I like to spend my money, where I like to relax. That's the thing for me. The Green Bay Packers. I enjoy watching football. So 6 months out of the year during the NFL season, like, that's where my Sundays go. That's why you won't see me much on Sundays. Like, it's why I plan, most of my stuff either during the week or on Saturday, because Sunday, no, I'm doing football. Um, so I mean, I do have some things like that I still get to do, but beyond that, right now, like, the business takes up a lot of my time. I am doing this full time. I have 3 employees now, one full time, 2 part time. Um, and it's a lot to take care of. And then, like, I I went and opened up the marketplace, which is actually a completely separate business legally from SCL Collectibles. Like, it's a separate business entity entirely. And so I am running that by myself right now. I that business does not have any employees right now. I'm gonna need to get one eventually. But I am handling everything behind the scenes there. And even though I'm not physically buying and selling and shipping the figures from the marketplace, there's still a lot that needs to be done behind the scenes. And so what little free time I did have now oftentimes gets eaten up by the marketplace. So yeah, it's a struggle. Like, I want to keep expanding the business. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. It's what I do. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Um, and I'm just going to keep doing more and more business stuff. That, I mean, you could almost argue that is a hobby of mine. Um, it is starting and running businesses. Um, which may seem strange to some, but I I do enjoy it. As much as I may complain about it, I do enjoy it. I think the reason why people didn't want the 5 pack is because some people like myself were kids and afraid to ask their parents to buy a $70 bundle. Yeah, I get it. And especially if, they had been buying other stuff along the way. And like I said, the other 4 figures have been released by that point. So a lot of people had them already. So it's rough. Recently bought Skylanders lot on offer up and it's getting here soon. I'm planning to buy from your shop soon. Awesome. Gaming Eruptor. Glad to hear it. And if people can still find stuff on decent stuff on offer up, that's even better. I stopped looking there a while ago. I just had too many people like cancel orders on me and stuff. It wasn't good. It wasn't worth my time. Crazy thing about Green Chompy Mage is that he's actually the most expensive despite unlocking nothing. Yep. I mean, for the longest time, like, I thought Green Chompy Mage was underpriced for how rare he was, for how hard to find he was. Um, but the utility of Wildstorm and Robo definitely played into the fact that we had a variant of Chompy Mage that people could buy. Um, that I think kept his price lower for a while too. But now people deciding, hey, no, I want Green Chompy Mage for my collection. So there's been a lot more demand for him lately, and the price has been going up, up, up. Personally, think Robo is worth it more than Green Chompy Mage. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Like, the utility of the figure, Robo unlocks a level, a new playable character that you wouldn't have had before. But yeah. DJ Digby, welcome in. But yeah, dub the big three, the Holy Trinity, as you're going to spend an unholy amount on them. That's it. That's interesting. Yeah, Jingle Bell does the same thing, right? It just looks a little different. Yep, yep. How do you make sure that figures don't break when you're on a road trip? So, Charlie, I mean, in general, the figures are pretty hardy. Um, the reason why figures break during shipping and they don't break when I have them on a road trip, well, 2 things. One, um, when they're being shipped, they're oftentimes not packed well. So they're loose. They have room to move around. They're not. There's no padding, no bubble wrap. Um, s- so that combined with number two, they're being handled by machines and people who don't care about what's in the box, right? So the people who work for USPS and UPS and FedEx and all these companies, like their directive is to get these boxes from point A to point B as fast as possible. I mean, yes, they shouldn't be like stomping on boxes or whatever, but if a box falls off a conveyor belt or falls off a truck or um, falls off a shelf while driving, or they take a turn too sharp and something tips in the back of the truck, like there's so many things that could happen. These boxes get tossed around and flipped in every which direction. And if it doesn't matter if it says fragile on the box or if they have arrows pointing up and saying this end up or something like that, like there's only so much they can do. Especially like I said, when they're handling millions of packages every day. um like it just goes through such a those boxes take such a beating. um you have to know that they have to be packed properly to not be damaged. That combined with temperature changes, hot and cold, extreme hot, extreme cold, from warehouse to the back of a truck. I mean, that could be a 50, 60 degree difference easily. Um, and none of that is good for, collectibles like that. Um, but when I'm on the road, like one, I'm putting everything in boxes that I pick up. Um, two, I'm not tossing them around. I'm not when they're in the back of my van, like they I know they're gonna stay put. They're either packed securely in boxes or in plastic totes with lids and they're stacked on each other. But like it's not just like the weight of the figures sitting on top of each other. Like I don't even care that much. Like I will put a hex at the bottom of a bin and pile 300 more figures on top of it and not worry about it. Because one, I know I'm going to be unpacking that box in a week. And two, like it's not just like the weight of the figure that breaks it. It's when you have 50 pounds of figures in a box and it goes upside down and left and right and all over and gets shaken up and then it gets another 50-pound box stacked on top of it and another 50-pound box stacked on top of that. And then like there's so many other things that happen when it's shipped across the country using any other shipping service. But when it's just sitting stationary in the back of my van, it's not going anywhere. It's not, getting rattled around. It's not taking that same beating that it would from a shipping service. Um, so inbox stuff, they're going to be in hard plastic totes. And so even if something falls on top of that plastic tote, it's not getting crushed. Um, it's just a different method of travel. Um, and I know exactly what's happening to it. Yeah, happy birthday, Ben. 29,031 watchers. A lot of people are interested, but I mean, even of those 31, I bet you most of them are just curious to see what happens with the figure and if anybody buys it or anything like that. Like, I doubt most of them are willing to pay anywhere near what it would take to get that figure. Joe, I don't know where you heard that because I didn't tell anybody that. Nope. We have started talking about trying to design some kind of like SCL meetups or something like that, but I don't know. I don't know. Well, there's a lot of logistics that go into that, and it's like, where would we hold the meetup, and who would show up, and what do we need to do to make that happen? Why were you gone for 4 months? I wasn't gone. I was working on the shop. Like that, there was a lot of stuff going on. I had employees taking breaks for the holidays, so we had to cover that. I had we actually moved out of SCL Jillian's basement into an office space, so that was a big change. Um, I went on vacation, um, like just life and business. D I we're still a very small operation, and I don't have time all the time. Like, I don't have a dedicated staff to help me make videos, and so sometimes that's one of the first things to go. Like, um, as much as I hate to say it, I sometimes I have to follow the money, and the shop is what pays the bills. The shop is what allows me to pay my employees. And the shop, I mean, it allows me to pay me so I can pay my bills at home. Not just the business bills, but my bills, my personal bills. Um, and so I need to make sure the shop is running smoothly and consistently. Whereas YouTube, I don't really make money from YouTube. I mean, right now I make like 200 bucks a month, which I understand is more than a lot of people make on YouTube ever, but not it doesn't pay the bills. So it's when I need to cut something, when I need to get some of my time back. Unfortunately, as much fun as I have on YouTube and making videos and doing live streams, like it's not something I can focus on as much as I want to. Wanted to thank you. I got into Skylanders and watching your vids helped a lot. Have completed 3 sets so far and trying to go for a full set of base and in-game variants. Nice. That's a good goal. That's a good goal. Good place to start. Yeah, a lot of people start with just the base set, then move on to the in-game variants, then maybe move on to the chase variants, depending. But yeah, I get it. What would you say is the rarest non-variant figure exclude? Man, I mean, Dylan, my recommendation to you would be go into the shop, um, and sort by price, highest to lowest. And yeah, I mean, if you wanted, you could even here. Let me see if I can do this because like rarity generally corresponds with price. Um, and so here, let me open up. Let's share this one here. You can see that. All right. Hey, look, sticker pre-orders are live. Um, Figures. So we're gonna sort. Well, here. Okay, you said we want every game excluding Imaginators. Okay. So then we're gonna sort high to low. This still has variants in it, but so like Breeze is definitely going to be up there. The Yawn Traps, if you count them as figures. But yeah, Breeze is up there. Thrillipede is a standard figure. It's variant. So yeah, then you're into like Trap Team cores, Blackout, Echo, Spotlight. But yeah, Breeze, like if you exclude Imaginators, yeah, Breeze might be up there. Yeah, she's definitely rare, definitely hard to find, and that value has been spiking as well. Not quite as much as Green Chompy Mage right now, but yeah, that's where I'd go with it. Um, Max even nailed it. Yeah, Breeze right there. All right. Every day you contemplate made the right decision getting Chompy Mage over Life Yawn. I would say probably, yeah. Like Chompy Mage, I think is going to keep going up. The Life Yawn, like the playable characters tend to carry more long term value than other accessories like traps and creation crystals and even like UFO hat card and stuff like that. Um, yeah. Um, Interesting. This is the third time someone's asked me this today alone. Like I usually get this at least once per live stream, but the third time today. I'm totally against NFC cards. They are illegal. If someone asked you to, I mean, think of it about like um, pirating CDs or bootleg DVD or something like that. Like those are illegal. Everybody knows that. If someone came up to you and said, "Hey, I made this copy of Skylanders Trap Team for PS4, and now I'm going to sell it to you," like that would be illegal, right? That would be something you probably wouldn't buy. Um, and it's the same thing with figures. The only difference is it you know, it looks like a plastic toy or a piece of plastic, you know, a card that you're buying. It's in a different form, but they're doing the exact same thing. They're taking the proprietary information that was created by Activision, created by Toys for Bob, now owned by Microsoft, making a copy of it and selling it for profit. Like that's what they're doing. That's the same problem with making a copy of a CD and selling it. You make a copy of a DVD and sell it. You make a copy of a game and sell it. It's illegal. So why is it any different with making a copy of the data that's on this figure and selling it? It's illegal. I don't do it. Yep. Ninja got it. He hates them. Yeah. Max, you got Breeze as well there. Oh, you had the Breeze up there before too. If you had the authority, would you bring back the mobile ports? You mean like of the mainline games? Or are we talking about the mobile games? Like Lost Islands. I'd love to bring back Lost Islands. Um Honestly, the mobile ports like of the like superchargers for iOS and Trap Team for iOS, I never really played them. I would rather play those on my console on my TV. Um so yeah, I don't know. The mobile version just didn't seem right to me. Seth, have a great day. Thanks for hanging out. What's my opinion on Skylanders Academy? I only saw the first season and a half, so I haven't actually watched the complete series yet. I should do that sometime. I could probably make a video about that. I don't know. That's what's going to limit me from doing it is like I should probably make a video about this, and I'm not going to have time to make a video about that, so I'm never going to watch it. Um, so what I've seen, I liked. I have no problems with Skylanders Academy. I think it was a smart move. They probably should have done it 3 years sooner, but it is what it is. How often do you find the UFO hat card? That is getting to be pretty rare. Once again, it's one of those items that unless you're a hardcore collector, a lot of people don't even know exists. Um, it's one of those that I think is going to be harder and harder to find as we go along because when like I say I buy a lot of collections from people online, and a lot of times it's, hey, my kid went off to college, or hey, my kid is no longer interested. So it's the parents that are collecting all this stuff up and selling it to me. Um, and so they're gonna grab all the figures, maybe all the games, the portals if we're lucky. Um, but they're not gonna if they see something like that UFO hat card, they're not gonna think twice about, oh, is this part of Skylanders? Oh, should I include this with this lot? No, they're gonna see a piece of cardboard off into the garbage. And so I think a lot of these are just gonna be start thrown away. I think we're losing a lot of them. Um, and they're gonna be tougher and tougher to find. Um, I haven't gotten one in many months now. I there was one point I had like 3 at once, and it was a whole big deal. But honestly, th I don't get them in that much. It has to be like, me buying directly from a collector who actually knows what the UFO hat card is and, includes it with the collection. Otherwise, yeah, I don't really get them in that much. Do you ever find yourself to open any tempted to open any of your sealed characters? No. So my I just have a rule. If it's in the box, it's gonna stay in the box. Um, I have most of my collection is loose. The only things I typically have in box are the rare chase variants, and I don't play with them. If I wanted to play with them, I know that they work in the box, so I have zero reason to open the box personally, because I'd rather keep it sealed. Not only does it keep it clean and keep it safe, but I know if I ever wanted to sell it, then that is it's going to have more value when it's in the box. So yeah, Digby's got Breezer Thrillipede as well. Nicely done. Have a blast. Things are going well. N8. Why is the Breeze so expensive? Don't know the backstory on that. So people may have answered this down in the comments already because I'm falling behind again. But just in case you don't know, this follows in line with just about any rare, expensive character. It comes down to distribution, supply and demand. In this case, very low supply. Breeze came out, I think it was wave 5, could have been wave 4, but I think it was wave 5. Wave 5 figure, by the time you get to wave 5 figures in any game, they're gonna be in low supply in the stores. Because the way stores handle figures, they get a bunch of stuff wave 1, they sell off, 90% of it. Pardon me. I was sick for a couple of weeks, and I'm still my throat hasn't quite caught up with how much I want to talk right now. Um, but so yeah, they get wave 1 in, they sell off 9% of the stock. There's still 10% sitting on the shelf. Wave 2 comes in, they sell off 80 to 90%. You still got 10, 20% of that sitting on the shelf. Wave 3 comes in, like they keep getting smaller and smaller room on the shelf. So either they start ordering less of the later waves, or they just have less to put out on the shelves and it stays in the back room. Either way, we start seeing less and less of it on the shelves. So by the time you get to wave 4, wave 5, their shelves are still full from either the back stock from waves 1 through 3, 1 through 4, or they just look like when stores see this, they don't view it the same way that us collectors do. They say, "Oh, my shelves are full of Skylanders. We have plenty of stock. I don't need to order more." it doesn't matter to them most of the time that, oh, these are different figures than what we currently have. These are new figures that people might actually want. They're like, no, we already have plenty of Skylanders. We're not going to order more. And so by the time you get to wave five, stores are ordering less, stores are putting less out on shelves. They're getting harder and harder to find. And anything that was released in wave five, the supply just plummets compared to wave one, two, three figures. Um, I don't know for sure if like Activision actually produced fewer of the wave five stuff. But they just the way the system works, there tend to be fewer in circulation. So whether or not there's a warehouse full of Breeze figures out there somewhere, I don't know. Maybe we'll find it someday. But as it stands, the supply is way down, the demand is way up. I mean, there are other factors in play, like Breeze is a new figure. Yes, it's a copy of Whirlwind, but has a different name. It plays the same as Whirlwind in the game, but it shows up differently in game, right? So people still want it. It has a different name. It's a mini, it's cute. It's one of the very few female characters in the game. There's a lot of things that go into that particular character that make it more desirable to various groups of people. And so all of that kind of wraps up. Like the big picture is supply and demand, but there are a lot of other factors that play into it that make it just a little bit more desirable as well. And therefore, she stands out. Um, do, 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 do. If you could put any of the NPCs for any of the 6 games as a playable character. Oh man. Like for some reason I always gravitate towards some of the earlier NPCs like Arbo or um uh what's the Mabu who is like the secret agent. I can't think of his name now. Or what he wasn't was he a villain or villain turned bad guy? Noodles? Is that his name? That would be fun too. I don't know. I don't know. There's so many NPCs out there. I'd have to go do a deep dive to figure out which ones I want for sure. What are your future goals for the SEL marketplace? Now that's an interesting question. I'll give you the big picture blue sky goals right now. I can't say for sure that any of this will ever happen, but this is kind of the vision, the grand vision that I have for it. So I would love to continue to expand with more sellers. I would love to expand into other lines of collectibles. There's a reason why I'm trying to, phase out the Skylanders name. Like it's SCL, but unless you're an OG, you don't even necessarily know what SCL stands for anymore. So like the SCL marketplace is just a collectible marketplace. Cool. Okay. So like that's something I want to keep growing. So we get more sellers, we expand to more products. When we get more products, we can bring in more sellers once again, keep growing that way to help just collectors get your hands on the collectibles you're looking for from a trustworthy source. But I also would love to expand into a physical SCL marketplace. So last year I got a recommendation to visit man, I wish I could remember what it's called. It's down in Georgia. There's this it's basically like an indoor collectible flea market. Um, and like they're only open on weekends, so like Saturday and Sunday. But each vendor comes in and runs their own booth, but it's indoor, so you can run it year round. Um, and then I learned that like these places exist elsewhere that are focused solely around collectibles. And there's places in California like this. There's places in Massachusetts like this. But there's the indoor collectible flea markets. And that like I would love to make the SCL marketplace a reality in that fashion and turn it into a indoor collectible flea market. And that's something that I feel that we could expand and turn it into a chain maybe even and go multiple locations around the US. And then I mean other people can sell their stuff there and it can just be a place to go and place to meet up. And I mean that could even be where we start hosting SCL meetups, where we could have meet and greets, where we could have bring in special guests, bring in the voice actors from various Skylanders games for meet and greet. We could, I'm sure, um, there are other uses of that space that we could come up with over the course of time, but like that is kind of big picture where I see this potentially going. Um, and the big question is how long would it take to get there? Like I don't know. It could be 5-10 years down the road. It could be surprising, and maybe we'll get there in the next 2 to 3 years. I don't know, but I think that's in the grand scheme of things where I would love to take it, but got to start small. Got to build up the reputation. Got to, like I said, work out all the bugs. Make sure things are happening the way they need to happen. Make sure everybody's getting paid. Make sure the system works the way it's supposed to, and then we can start expanding. But the marketplace, like I said, it's not even 2 months old yet. Not even 2 months old. So yes, it's moving slowly, but we're gonna keep plugging away at it, and as long as people don't misuse it and abuse it and take advantage of it, like we can keep growing. I noticed prototype Skylanders on eBay for 16K. Do you think these are legitimate? I haven't looked at those too closely. I tend to avoid a lot of those prototype situations. Um, I know a little bit of things like what to look at. It's hard to explain verbally. It'd be easier to show or take a look at a specific listing and say, yeah, I think this is probably legit or not. Um, but at that price, I wouldn't pay it. I wouldn't risk it. Um, Once again, that goes into I don't think that there's really many Skylanders pieces that are worth more than 10K. Like we were talked about earlier. Like I no, I don't think that's going to be worth it at all. Rain Dance, are you still doing monthly giveaways this year? No, I am not. That was last year. That was a 2024 thing. And Dave will answer you right away too. There's no giveaway today. But no monthly giveaways this year. I'm sure I'll do some form of giveaway at some point in the year, but there's no guaranteed monthly giveaways at this point. How long do you think it'll take to get to 16K? Honestly, it depends a little bit on how prolific I am with putting videos out. New videos gain more subscribers. I still gain subscribers every day, even when I'm not putting out videos, but they obviously come at a faster pace when you're putting more stuff out. So um, if I can spend more time putting out more new content, we'll get there faster. But I honestly don't know how long it'll take to get to 16K. Do you ever find Robo or any other super rare Skylanders like Wildstorm in a used game store, specifically if they're selling for less than 400? Occasionally, occasionally. Like Robo seems to be fairly well known by most game stores nowadays. Imaginators in general. Um, I will say, last year, it's in one of my videos, um, and I do regret a little bit not actually buying it. But there was a green Chompy Mage for 150 bucks. And my thought was, hey, I'll mention in the video, I'll let someone else come and grab it. Um, and I probably should have just grabbed it then. Even though at that time, green Chompy Mage is going for, I think, like 250, 300 around that point. Um, I'm like, no, I'm gonna be a nice guy. I'll just let someone else have it. So um I did find that one. I have seen a couple of Wildstorms here and there. Um, I think I saw one in one of the last times I was in Ohio at the exchange. I think there was one for maybe like $100. So that was decent. I was already buying a lot of stuff at that trip, so I left that one as well. Um, but yeah, I do occasionally see them. Robo, like I said, if I do see him, he's usually at market price. There was one new in box Robo that was listed at like 450, 500, something like that. So I mean, it was up there. I mean, that was a fair asking price for where the market's at right now. But yeah, playing SSA right now, awesome. Are you allowed to sell Skylander stickers when the characters are actually from Microsoft properties? Um, it's a area which I've investigated with some legal folks, and it's hard to say definitively, um, one way or the other. If I were ever approached about it, like, I would stop selling immediately. Um, but I've gotten mixed answers from various folks, and so it's kind of like, if I were to write a book about Skylanders and I took pictures of the figures that I own, can I use those pictures in the book even though, the figures, the designs of them are Activision slash Microsoft's, but I took the pictures, like, who does that belong to? Who has the right to use that? Like, do I have to get separate permission? Like, it it gets into there's a lot of gray areas in there, and I've tried to get as many answers as I can. Like, I didn't sell stickers for a long time because I was trying to get some legal answers. And without going too in depth and boring you with legal system stuff, um, yeah, I can sell them. But yeah, like I said, if like Activision ever came out with a cease and desist or something like that, like, I wouldn't fight them on it. I seen the UK gift pack which came with Whisper Elf, SSA, Easter Rhino. So I've seen. I don't know if I've seen that pack specifically. I've seen gift packs like that. I know there's a few different varieties, honestly, and I know people who are looking for them as well. Um, but yeah, I'm aware of those type of gift packs that you're referencing. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that one specifically. I never remember which is which. What's your favorite piece of non-figure merch? So I don't collect a lot of non-figure merch because there is so much out there. I try to avoid it. Um, non-figure merch. I really like the Chompy Happy Meal toy. Does that count? It's not a playable figure. At least not in that form. I have an army of Chompy Happy Meal toys. I wish they would have made a Chompy figure. Like I know you can trap him and trap team and all that, but like I want a playable figure of Chompy. I there we go. Give me a U2's Chompy. That's what I want to see. U2's Chompy. um and yeah, along with those gift packs, the elites with water traps. Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen those. They're legit. They were trying to get rid of overstock, so they packaged them up differently for holidays. Can I do a Skylanders lock? I have one planned. It's one of my goals that you can unlock for the subscriber count. I forget what that's at. It's either like 15 or that might be 20,000. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch the video again that I created, well, I think years ago now. Um, but yeah, I'm planning on doing one. It will be my first ever. I haven't done one before. But we're gonna make you guys unlock it with the subscriber count. Just bought Blackout and Spotlight for 75 bucks with shipping included. Oof, nicely done. Um, I mean, current prices, go check the shop. I mean, I think they're around 80, 90 bucks each now. So yeah. I mean, possibly a little bit higher than that because my prices are usually a little bit low on some of those things. But yeah, I'd say 75 is a good price. Is that 75 each or 75 for both? That's 75 for both. That's a steal. Strange the Typo and Blastertron aren't too expensive despite releasing Wave 5 with Robo. Yeah, I mean, they're up there for sure. Like Blastertron in particular, Tide Pool I feel has like been climbing slowly. But yeah, just the demand isn't there. Like they don't unlock levels. They um yeah, it is interesting why they're not more expensive than they are. I think they certainly can be, but yeah. Since you've been gone, I've accomplished my second goal in Skylanders. I can all the stat cards. Nicely done, Digby. Nicely done. Snuckles, there we go. Over and out. Count Moneybone, yeah. I know a lot of folks like him. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by all the cars driving down the road. There's an Amazon van that pulled into the neighbor's house. Not for me, apparently. Have you ever got Blue Bash? Yeah. Yeah, we get Blue Bash in like I think we actually had like 2 or 3 Blue Bash in at the same time in the shop. Um, but yeah. Did you know Happy Birthday Starcast went up for 29th? Yeah. It's been on eBay for months now. It used to be listed at 50. They knocked it down to 29. Obviously no takers yet. Do you like Graveclopper as a water villain? Would you prefer another villain? I don't know. I don't know. I like I don't get into that much background and stuff. Like there's probably a better villain they could have pulled out there. But someone like Graveclopper, I guess. Sometimes I wonder how many of those were um uh they were like personal favorites of people on the staff, and that's why they got figures. Have you heard of Tiny Toys Collective? I have not. What is that? Curious. Very curious, actually. Is that something I can look up online, or can you explain briefly what it is? Dylan, have a good day. I'm sorry you have to work on a Saturday. Dante, do you know any good spots to get Skylanders to Massachusetts? I personally have not been to Massachusetts. I have gotten some recommendations over the years. I think that included some in Massachusetts. I don't remember. Where's my sheet? Do I have any Massachusetts on here? No, not there. These are just my sheets I write down when people give me recommendations in these live streams and such. Massachusetts. Ooh, Massachusetts. Nostalgia Games in Rockland, Massachusetts was a recommendation I got once. Probably, I mean, this list is probably a few years old, so I don't know if they still sell them or if they still exist. I think that's the only one I have listed here. But I would check in with what the Skylanders, if you follow them over on Whatnot or anything like that. They might have some better idea about Massachusetts stuff because they're over in the New England area and get to go over that way more often than I do. Because I think they were the ones telling me about that like indoor flea market in that I think that was in Massachusetts. So yeah, something to look into there. But other than that, I don't really know. How's my collection coming along? So my collection is basically complete. I'm down to 7 that I need, but some people debate me on that number. I need Happy Birthday Ben Starcast and then 6 unreleased figures. So Heartbreaker Buckshot and the 5 unreleased Creation Crystals. Like that's all I'm hunting right now, really. So what other Skylanders YouTubers do you recommend? There's so many good ones out there right now. There's part of me that wants to shout out a few right now, but I also feel bad because I know I'm gonna forget some good ones too. Shoot. Here, let me see if I can quickly find what am I looking for here? I mean, you can check out Skylander Dude. Oh, Victor Saving Skylands has been good. Good, putting out some decent content recently. I mean, there's always like Myconoid and Skylander Gamer TV. Like I Crash the Skylands. Like he was putting a lot of content at the end of last year. I know. I mean, Crib Crusher, Ignite the Fire, they're all good. Like I don't know how many of them are putting out content regularly nowadays, and if it's all Skylanders content either. But you can check them out and see what they're up to at least. Do you think you'll ever expand to Europe? If you're talking like physically, probably not. I mean, if we're talking SCL collectibles, like we ship to Europe, almost all of Europe at this point. The marketplace, I don't know if that'll expand to Europe, if that's what you're asking about. I'm not sure exactly when this comment came in because I'm falling behind on the chat again. Do I have any prototypes? I've gotten my hands on a few over the years. They usually get sold to one specific collector that I know. But I did keep one and I showed it off in a video that I made. Um, hold on, let me see if I can grab it quick. All right. So this is the only prototype I still own in my collection. So it is damaged, like missing the top and bottom of the staff there. I showed this off better in one of my videos, but you can see it, like it's 3D printed, so it's got kind of like a fuzz to it that it's hard to show off in this video. I show it off better in my other video, but the like I want to put this in a case, so I stopped touching it because like it's very fragile, and like I don't want anything else to happen to it, and the finish is already kind of wearing off a little bit. Um, but yeah, that's the only prototype that I have in my collection because I think that's super cool. I've seen a few of those before, that type of prototype before, um, but that's the first one that I was able to get my hands on. So, um, do you think it'll be a good idea to do live streaming and watching Skylanders Academy? Um, I don't know. I don't know if you could get away with live streaming. I mean, I suppose I could stream my reaction to it. I don't know if you could actually stream the show. So, and that might not be allowed. Do you really think Shop Range is valued at 500 to 700, or is it because he's overvalued? That's a tough one. I think it's getting up into that area of being overvalued. I do think it is rare. I do think it is very hard to find, but it is also super in demand right now. And I think a lot of people are buying into the FOMO, and they are seeing the price continue to go up. And so, like, well, I better get it now before it goes higher. And so they they unfortunately keep driving that price up and up. Um, Now, based on actual rarity, I do actually think that Green Chompy Mage should be more expensive than Robo. Uh, Based on utility, as we talked about earlier, like Robo makes more sense to be more expensive, but based on actual rarity, I think Green Chompy Mage should be more expensive. So the fact that it finally eclipsed Robo in price, I think is a more accurate representation of the rarity. But as it keeps climbing, like I said, I think we are probably getting into that area of being overpriced. Um, I don't know exactly where I put that level, what exact price would be overpriced or what its maximum should be, but because like say like value always comes down to like and value or how much something is worth really just depends on how much someone is willing to pay for it. And if people are consistently willing to pay 500, 600, 700, I mean, then that's what it's worth. When people stop paying those prices, then it's overpriced. And that's when either people need to drop their prices or, at least hold where they are. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I don't know if I'd call it overpriced just yet. It's definitely close though. Um, Michael, what are we dropping this weekend? I'm not sure what you're asking there. Happy birthday, Starcast. I do not have it. What is the number one most expensive Skylander figure of all time, including things like that? I mean, Happy Birthday Ben might be the most expensive. Like the E3 figures are arguably up there, but they're so few and far between. Like, I think they could have that value, but then again, they aren't playable. Whereas Happy Birthday Ben is playable and registers in game and stuff, and so he does carry a little bit more value there. Same with like Heartbreaker Buckshot. Well, I mean, that was never technically released, but there are figures that technically work in game. And so like I would argue that should be valued higher than Happy Birthday Ben. But yeah, I don't know exactly. Happy Birthday Ben's probably got to be in that spot for now, just based on actual sales. Do you ever plan on visiting Kansas? I've been to very eastern Kansas. Like, wait, is Overland Park in Kansas? Or is that still Missouri? I think that's Kansas. Yeah, I think I've done some hunting in very eastern Kansas. So out there you're looking at like Vintage Stock and Movie Trading Company. That brand. They'll have a lot of Skylanders for you out in like is that the St. Louis area? I don't know if I made a video about that or not. I feel like I did. But yeah, that's about as far into Kansas as I've gotten, just passing through. Like on my way to and from Texas, I sometimes pass through like eastern Kansas. Any good spots in Utah? Nope. Unfortunately, haven't done any hunting in Utah. I drove through there once on my way to California, but I haven't actually done any hunting there. Looking for the Pinata McDonald's toy. I've sold a few of them over on Whatnot. I don't know if I have any left. I'll have to see. That and Wolfgang. Yeah. Once again, I've sold a few of those on Whatnot. That's where the McDonald's toys go. Sometimes they're still new in bags, sometimes they're loose, but we get them from time to time. Why don't people like the minis? I think people love the minis. Some people, I guess, don't care for them just because they're replicas of like their move set in the game is exactly the same as other characters, so it doesn't feel like a new character in game. But otherwise, I think everybody thinks they're cute and they love them. Did you play Spyro original games? I didn't back in the day. I've played some of them since. I have gone back and played some of mostly the remastered stuff, I guess. But yeah, I think I didn't play Spyro until after I played Skylanders. How much did the Amazon 5-pack originally cost? We were like it was either $60 or $70. I think it was $70. It was like just under what you would normally pay for 5 figures. And they would, figure is $15 each. So 5 of them would be 75. So I know there was a slight discount. So I think it was like $70. Duresto wanted to come on the stream and thank you for informing me. Whatnot, I managed to get a copy of Skylanders on PS4 for a reasonable price. Well done. Glad to hear it. And yeah, if anybody else hadn't signed up for Whatnot yet, where do we go? There we go. There's a link down in the description. You can sign up, use that link and get $15 in Whatnot credit if you're a new user. I go live on Wednesdays. I should be, well, when I'm not on the road or on vacation, which I have been recently. But the next, I'm planning to be here for the next 3 Wednesdays, I believe, in February here. Trying to get back into a little bit of a rhythm, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Whatnot, it's a place to be. It's where I sell a lot of stuff. Michael, unfortunately, I am not actually in charge of shop updates. That is 100% in SCL Jillian's control. She runs that part of the shop. And so if you want to know when the shop updates happen, we don't have a particular schedule for when they happen. It's when we are able to get things out, when we have processed the figures that we get in. We have to test and reset, get them listed in the shop. There's a whole process that they have to go through. And then once we have that ready, once Jillian's caught up with orders in the shop, like if she has 100 orders waiting to be filled in the shop, she's not going to put out an update because that's just going to add another 100 orders to her workload and she'll fall behind. So that's part of the reason why she's in charge of them. And so she knows like when she's caught up with orders, okay, now we can put out another update. Because we don't want people just waiting for the stuff when it's like, oh yeah, we'll put more stuff out to buy. Well, we haven't even shipped the stuff you ordered last week. But if you follow SCL Jillian on Twitter, you can find out when updates happen. If you check out the community feed of this YouTube channel here, you can check out, I mean, just go look and see past updates, how they've happened. You've probably seen them there. Otherwise, if you want to find out first, if you want to find out before Twitter and YouTube, you can become a member of this channel and join the SCL Discord. So if you become a member of this YouTube channel, that will allow you to join the SCL Discord. And Discord members actually find out before Twitter and YouTube when the shop updates happen. We'll tell you what day it's going to happen. We'll tell you, when it happens exactly. You'll be the first to know before we update everybody else. So yeah, if you're looking for Scratch, honestly, that might be reason enough to join the SCL Discord, because that is one that does sell out quickly. But if you want to get a head start, little extra jump on the rest of the crowd, that might be a good way to go about it. So yes, becoming a member of this channel, it does cost you $2.99 per month, but you can quit at any time. So you can try it $3. And if it's not for you, or maybe you only want it for that one figure, so give you a month to hopefully get your hands on Scratch, and if that's enough, then you can quit, leave. But we are trying to build a community over there, and I'm hoping that'll be something that's useful to any Skylanders collector over there, any Skylanders fanatic who just wants to talk Skylanders all day and all night. We got a place for you over there. So any future goals for SCL Collectibles? Not too much. I think SCL Collectibles honestly is in a pretty good place. And that's part of the reason why I felt comfortable expanding to like the SCL marketplace. I don't know that I really want to grow SCL Collectibles too much more. And I like the growth is going to happen with the marketplace, I think. SCL Collectibles is in a good place right now. We're in a good rhythm with the employees that we currently have, that they can handle the workload. And I just want to make that consistent, because if that's consistent and I don't have to worry as much about what's going on with SCL Collectibles because we're constantly making changes, then I can focus more on things like the SCL marketplace and growing that and expanding that. Like I said, adding more sellers, adding more franchises, different lines of collectibles, maybe expanding to a physical marketplace and stuff like that. Where if I constantly have to come back and worry about what's happening with SCL collectibles, that takes away from everything else. So I'm I think I'm happy with where SCL collectibles is at right now, and I don't know that will expand too much. Like I said, we're occasionally adding a few new items. Like we added a new storage item this week, a little square storage case that we had a few of. Um, we're adding the stickers that are up for pre-order right now. Um, but just little things here and there, no major changes. We expanded which countries we serve. So like I said, we're serving over 50 countries now. Um, so like little things like that. Yeah, we're refining SAL collectibles, but I don't expect to really expand or make major changes to SAL collectibles at this point. That could change in the future, who knows, but I don't have any major plans for it. How much did unreleased creation crystals cost? That's one of those things, like they are so rarely sold that there's not really any good comps out there. There's no prices to compare it to. And so that's something one, you have to find someone who has them. Two, you have to make sure they're willing to sell them. And then three, you have to find a price where they are comfortable selling and you're comfortable paying. And like that's what they're worth then. I there isn't a going rate really. Unfortunately, some people got in early and were able to get their hands on some before people really knew what they were and knew that they were in demand and stuff like that. But they're getting more and more eyes on them, and more people understand their worth and their value to collectors. And so prices are going up, unfortunately. But yeah, I can't really put a price on them. New inbox Flock Springtime Trigger Happy 350 Canadian. I think that sounds like a fantastic price because 350 Canadian is gonna be. Anyone have that conversion immediately? Convert to Canadian. 350. Yeah, that's like 245 US. I mean, in US, I wouldn't sell that under $300 US. So I'd say 350 Canadian is a fantastic price for a new in box Flock Springtime Trigger Happy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Get your hands on that. Went on Whatnot once, and there's this guy who's not fully there in his mind and never sent me my $25 order when he was scanning his carpet floor and showing them off. I'm sorry you had a bad experience with Whatnot. I hope you're able to get your money back. Whatnot customer support is usually pretty good about that. So is the VIP program still around? No, Joe. VIP program ended at the end of 2024. So the SCL VIP program is no more. How many YouTube videos do you think you can make in a given month? At this point, I'm lucky if I'm making one a month. I mean, I would love to get to the point of making one or two per week, but that's a whole nother process. The process of actually recording and editing and uploading and doing everything you need to do to make a decent YouTube video. It takes a lot of time. It's another one of those things. Like all my time is currently taken up buy SCL collectibles and the SCL marketplace. I just don't have time to make other content. And as much as I want to, it's just um not something I have time to do right now. So I hope to that's something like as I hand off more of the responsibilities of the business to other people, that either I can find more time to work on videos. I mean, I it's going to be hard enough for me just to find time to record more videos, much less edit and upload and all and create thumbnails and stuff like that. And so I'm probably going to have to outsource some of that work too. And then I have to find people to do that. And it's this vicious cycle that it's there's so much that I want to do and I just don't have the time to do it. And I'm trying to find ways to get my time back so I can work on some of this stuff that I, want to work on for fun. Um, but it's tough. It's tough. Oh man. What was a reason to shut down the VIP program? Um, there are a couple of reasons. The two main reasons I will cite are one, behind the scenes, it was actually causing a lot of headaches. Um, Partly because we were piecing together a bunch of different pieces of software. Like there's nothing that did what I needed to do natively within the software that I use to run the site. So we're using a bunch of third-party software to make it work. And not only sometimes would that break down, but then like people weren't getting their discounts or they were forgetting to enter the discount code. And so then we would have to go in and manually, calculate their discount and refund the money. And that anytime we have to do little things like that, it's, you know, either that's taking time away from me or I'm paying one of my employees to take time out of their schedule to go and basically lose us money, right? So I'm paying someone to go figure out how much money they were supposed to get from their discount and refund them that money. And it just, yeah. Um, but two, the reason I started the VIP program in the beginning was because I was unsure I was not confident in my pricing structure, and that is something that has changed over time. Like, I've been doing this for 3.5, almost 4 years, running the shop now. I'm confident in my prices. I have a lot more data about supply and demand. I know what people are willing to pay. I know what they're not willing to pay. I know what other people are charging. I know what's fair. I know what's acceptable. I'm much more confident with the prices that I charge now. Like, I initially created it because I thought people were going to be skeptical of my prices, thought that my prices are going to be too high. They wouldn't want to pay my exorbitant prices, um, which was just silly because many of the first comments I got were like, "You have the best prices around." And I'm like, "Oh, well, okay, cool." Um, but that that was the entire reason I created it in the first place. I thought thought my prices were going to be too high, so I gave them an option to get a discount. Over the years, I mean, so the VIP program started out just as a discount program, and it felt weird because some people even brought this up, like, we have to pay money just to get a discount. Like, yeah, but if you're buying enough, it makes sense. But a lot of people didn't want to do that math, and like a few people understood it and got it and used it as I expected. Um, but it just caused a lot more headaches, and it no longer served the original purpose. Um, like I said, I throughout the years, I did try to include more benefits to the VIP program, but all those benefits disappeared now too. Um, and so that is it kind of reverted to being just a pay for a discount service. And so like that, um, because like I said, I'm more confident in my pricing now. The fact that it was just paying to get a discount didn't make sense anymore to me, and it was causing problems on the back end. It was causing more work for my employees. Um, it just made more sense to shut it down. Like it was unnecessary at this point. So, yeah, yeah, that's the long answer of why I got shut down. How'd you even get your hands on the prototype with all the trouble used for no reason? um, so that was actually in a lot that I bought from someone who was friends with someone who bought a storage unit that had a bunch of Skylander stuff in it. So apparently it seems like from some of the other stuff that was in the storage unit, the storage unit probably belonged to a Activision employee or a Toys for Bob employee, and they had stored a lot of, prototype and proprietary stuff. There's actually a PlayStation console in a different lot that I didn't get, but a PlayStation console that was like marked as property of Activision, um, that had some interesting stuff on it. But that that kind of sealed the deal and said, yeah, this was definitely like an Activision employee that had this stuff. Because there are a few other prototypes in there, um, and just some other stuff you don't normally see from an average collector even. Um, so yeah, I I got my hands on one of the lots that they were selling that included this particular prototype, and I decided to keep it. 11D3, I don't know for sure about that. I know some people I think, have accessed Heartbreaker Buckshot in the game. I don't know if it's because codes have been leaked or if they dug into the code of the game and got it that way. I I don't mess around with that stuff, so I don't know exactly. Um, do, do. My favorite Skylanders camo. Um, do you think you can do more unboxing live streams? Maybe. I've done a few from time to time, but the biggest problem with that is the business functions differently now. And in the beginning, like the first 6 months, everything got shipped to me. And so I unboxed it, I tested, reset it, and I, packed and shipped orders. After that, I hired SCL Jillian, and for a while, everything still got shipped to me, and I would do a lot of the testing and resetting, and then bring everything over to her and put it in the shop from that time frame. But nowadays, we're at the point where it doesn't make sense for everything to get shipped to me. Everything gets shipped directly to her, and now directly to our office. Um, and so I don't handle most of the figures. I don't like I buy them, I purchase them, but they get shipped over there, and I actually don't live close to SCL Jillian. Um, It's actually she lives a few hours away, and so I don't get my hands on most of the figures. I don't get my hands on most of the boxes, so I it's hard to do unboxings. Um, Occasionally, I have done a few when I've got some weird collections in, or if I buy a mystery box, I did an unboxing like that once, or if I once in a while I want to buy something from Whatnot, that stuff still gets shipped to me because my address is on that account. Um, but yeah, I just the way the business works now, it's tough to do unboxings like I used to do. Any good place to find Skylanders in New York? I have not really done any hunting in New York, so I don't know for sure. Um, if Joe is still here, Joe, do you know any places in New York? Or no, the only place in New York I know that is in very western New York, in Jamestown. Um, Shoot, Joe would know the place. Joe introduced me to this place. Uh, Gamers Haven. There you go. Gamers Haven in Jamestown, New York. I know has Skylanders. Other than that, I don't know. I haven't had time to do much hunting in New York. Usually, when I'm in New York, I'm driving elsewhere to like Vermont or New Hampshire to pick something up, and so I don't make a lot of stops in New York. Do you think there will be another chance for someone like me to get hands on Double Trouble prototype? I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure there's a bunch of prototypes out there. It's just a matter of finding them and people being willing to let go of them. Is there a reason yawn traps are very expensive? Yes, because they were not released in the US. Yeah, as Gemini says, they're only released in Australia. So yeah, when they're only released in Australia, so only released in one country, and a country on the other side of the world from the vast majority of Skylanders collectors, that makes them hard to come by. Um, All right, I think I finally caught up with that. Do I have contact with Toys for Bob employees? No, I don't really. Um, I've met a handful of Activision employees over the course of the past few years. I don't think I've actually met anyone personally who worked for Toys for Bob directly. Um, I think all the people I've met have only been Activision employees that happened to work on Skylanders for part of their time there. So, um, is Purple Trigger Happy Riding a Rocket rare? So there is a rare version of it. Um, so like the standard springtime Trigger Happy is what you're asking about. Um, Springtime Trigger Happy is not super rare, but there's a flocked version of that where Trigger Happy itself has the flocking on it. So it's like all pink instead of uh, having the whitish tannish face color. Um, that one is super rare. There's only 1,500 of them, and so that goes for a few $100s. But what do you mean by distribution box? I'm not familiar with that term. I don't think distribution box. Not sure what you mean by that. While I'm watching you, I'm playing Skylanders Giants. Awesome. I love it when people are playing Skylanders when I'm here. All right. Charlie, unfortunately, as much as I go to Florida, uh, I'm always in vacation mode when I go down there. And so I'm either visiting friends or going to theme parks. And I have not actually done any hunting in Florida. So I don't have like I know there are a ton of good places in Florida because I know people who live there and I know people who buy stuff there all the time. Like a lot of the good deals are locally, like on Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. Um, but they um, they are willing to, take the time to make the deals with people locally like that. I know there are some shops, and Florida is a great place for flea markets, honestly. And so, if you have any flea markets near you, I would check them out. Stock at flea markets can change all the time, so it's worth it to go back on a regular basis, just see what shows up. But um, yeah, I know they exist. There's Florida in general. It's a great place for collectibles, just collectibles in general, but like Skylanders as well. So, oh, the box in which Skylanders went to the store. Oh, yeah. I have a few of those boxes. I I have I don't always keep them, but yeah, like occasionally I do get full cases of stuff or open cases at least. Um, Nothing super rare. Like a lot of them are from like superchargers that were kind of overproduced and like supercharger vehicle cases and stuff like that. But yeah, I have a handful of those boxes from here and there. I don't know of anywhere in Louisiana. No. Do, do, do. Just playing Imaginators, getting all the Imaginate parts. Just need the Wasteland set. Gotta be Nightmare mode. Yeah. I like that they at least like tell you where the parts are, right? Or special things you need to do. Have a blast. Have a good day. I think I might be calling it quits here too soon. We're getting to the point of I need food. Um, but we've been live for over 3 hours. I just realized, and that would explain why my throat is starting to kill me. But yeah, I hope that answers some of your questions. Once again, I'll be going live on Wednesday on Whatnot. I will get those items listed tonight. But if you're new to Whatnot, you can use the link down in the description to sign up and get $15 in Whatnot credit to use anywhere on Whatnot, my stuff or anybody else's stuff. You don't have to shop with me using that credit. Um, and then as well, oh, the sticker pre-orders are live on the site right now. I think I saw some orders roll in um, while we were chatting here. Looks like, yep, we got a few sticker pre-orders in here. So the Skylander swapper stickers. So they come in top half and bottom half, and you can put them together however you want. That is up to you. So sticker pre-orders will be up at least for the next week. I'm thinking it's just going to be a week. We're going to do so through the 15th, and then we'll get those up and running. So we'll add those to the collection, and you can start swapping those stickers. But then we'll move on to other stickers. We still still have a lot of stickers to get through from the Mr. Rolling Circle collection. So we'll see how that goes. It is 4:20 right now. I think your clock is a little fast. Oh, 4:21. There we go. Playing Superchargers right now. It's 4 of the 6 being played during this stream. There you go. What do I think about Skylanders U2s? I'm excited for it. Just to have new Skylanders stuff um, coming out. I mean, I will be following that project very closely. And like I said, I would love to be involved with it somehow, but I don't know that I'll be able to. Um, Charlie, I do not know anywhere in Montana and Idaho. I I actually don't think I've ever been to Idaho in my life. Like, I don't think I've even driven through Idaho. I've been to Montana. I've flown to Washington and Oregon, but I don't think I've ever been to Idaho. How often do the stickers sell? Uh, they come and go. This I was just having this discussion with Jillian actually, and it feels like the stickers have been selling more and more recently. There has definitely been an uptick since I put out the video about the um third set of them here with the swappers. A lot of people went back and bought the first two sets. Um, but just in general, like people have been buying like single stickers of their favorite characters. Like it feels like they've been including them in their orders more and more recently. And so I don't know if it's just people being made aware of them or they've run out of figures to buy or whatever. That it does feel like they've been doing better as of late, as of past few months. So it'll be interesting to see. It's been about I think more than a year since I've released the giant stickers. So we've gained a lot of like a whole new audience, honestly, not only here on YouTube but in the shop as well, who may not have even been aware of the stickers. Like I feel like I haven't done a very good job of advertising the stickers, and so yeah, that's something that um, we'll we'll try to do a better job of, and at least make people aware of them. So if they want to buy them, they can. But yeah, the pre-orders are the cheapest they'll ever be. So they're like 50% off their standard price right now. Um, and we'll go from there. But I think that's all I got for now. I'm gonna save what's left of my voice right now. I will see you over on Whatnot on Wednesday, and for the next few Wednesdays, hopefully. And we'll see what happens after that. But thank you all for hanging out. It's been a great time. I think the snow may have finally stopped, so I should probably go clear the driveway. And you have a good night. We'll talk soon.